point. You know I'm trying to make a point, and then you just like jump right in and just start shitting on it. When in fact, you know what I'm saying was factual when I learned German. That when you spoke German, is very specific. You can't refer to a woman as a Freund. You refer to them as a Freundin. But if they're in a mixed crowd where there is men and women, you're allowed to say Freunds, plural.
Freunde, yeah.
But because it's men and women. It's men and women.
Are you just assuming their genders?
I'm getting a headache from that conversation.
Does that mean the father of modern psychology's name translates to Sigmund Woman?
No, it's Freud.
Okay. I had a dream about that last night. I dreamt that Marines were still infantry, no matter what they said about being soldiers.
Well, they have infantry. The Marine Corps has infantry.
So you could get away with calling them that, and they wouldn't be able to get too angry at you. It's like, so you with the infantry? It's like,
I love this Avatar Master Maniac Mexico.
Then of course we got Farnsworth. He's here too.
Hi,
Sci-Fi Mombi is here. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's having a good Monday.
Hi, everyone.
The weekend went by way too fast for me.
I know, right? My town is shut down right now by ice. So,
hey, Christian, I bragged about you last night on Mark C with the Big D show. I was hanging out with Clobbery, and Courtney was there too. We had a blast. It was a fun show last night. And the last portion of the show, we had to talk about Echo, and I was not looking forward to it because inevitably the question got asked, Gerry, have you seen Echo? And I said, I have not, nor will I ever. I'm not going to watch that show. I have no interest in it. I saw the trailer, I saw the fight choreography, and I went garbage. Not interested. Yeah, I was bragging about you because you dropped that 500 on the campaign, man. It's amazing what you did. And we're at officially this morning 50 contributions, and I expect it to start picking up. Jesse is here. Yes, they do. Actually, it's weird. U.S. Army and U.S. Marine Corps both have aviators or pilots. And they have Army Air and they have, but Army Air is only allowed certain kinds of things. They can't get other things because that's specifically addressed with the Air Force. Wait, with the Marine Corps.
Look who's here.
Morning, Tickletron. What's up?
Hey.
Hi, Titi.
Hey, fuck you too, buddy. Fuck you too.
It's Monday.
What's this Rush stream on Wednesday night? I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, man. Man. The last one I made with Brian was when we got to talk about Genesis, because I love talking Genesis. And Rush was one of those bands that I got introduced to when I was 18, and I ended up using YYZ as my drum. I forget what they call that, where you have to do some to graduate, to pass your instrument. You have to play a certain thing, and I had to play at YYZ.
It's not a thesis, but I know what you're saying.
Compendium?
Yeah. No, there's another word for it, and I had to play the drum. So I got the drum notes, and I had to do oh my God, it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. Playing YYZ.
I don't understand.
My problem with Neil Peart is the fact that how brilliant he is, that he is a precision drummer, which is what old school drummers would call him, because he plays it exactly the same every single time.
Now, there's a proposed tour coming in the next few months from the surviving members, so I wonder what they're going to do. I don't know why Neil Peart changes his style after that first album, where it's more relatable to drumming.
Now, by the way, his name is Getty, not Jetty.
Yeah,
just pointing it out.
What do you know?
New York Jetty Lee. Got the Jets on my mind.
Good morning, Daryl. How are you doing, man? Getty Lee's voice put me off, Rush. Oh, the high pitch thing. I'm not going to say it did. I think I was lucky because the very first thing I ever heard from them was Fly By Night, and followed by, within a month or two, I heard Tom Sawyer. And Tom Sawyer is just a freaking awesome song. And Andy Morrow is here. What's up, Andy?
Hey, hello.
Good afternoon, Andy.
So I'm going to do...
Hey, real late.
Is this the right one? I don't think... Is that the right one? Yes, that is it. So I'm going to go to that in a moment. There we go. We'll go to it in a moment. Because I'm going to play the... a little bit of the, while we're talking, I'm going to play a little bit of the making of video.
Aha.
And let it play in the background as we talk.
Oh, cool.
But I do believe Geddy Lee's real first name is Gerry. I think that's his first name. And Geddy is the nickname he got. Double check me on that one, guys. See if that's true. I think that's what his original name was, Geddy Lee.
If the stories are true, we got Paul McCartney to thank for that and the Rolling Stones record, because he got on both groups of guys. He's like, why don't you mates get together? You know, just because you lost your drummer. And it's like, so that's why the Beatles haven't gotten back together, because only the drummer and Paul are left.
Yeah, his real name is Gerry.
Yep. I thought I remembered that. Here we go. I'm going to play a little bit of the slideshow while we yak. Yakety yak, don't talk back.
The one guy out that gets forgotten about is that Alex Lifeson is actually really, really good. It says that he merely plays one instrument instead of doing a couple of things at a time.
Look at Penny making breaches.
She's doing it again. I'm shocked, Penny.
Early for that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's Aaron Eckhart.
He ruined Penny.
Looks so young.
Yep, that's underneath the I-20 overpass right there in Shreveport.
Jim's Landscape LLC is here. Good morning.
Hello, Commodore.
Sci-Fi Mombi. Yes. So what I liked about this film is they didn't bother telling a story. The only story in this is minute things. They're more character related, which is you've got a master sergeant who's getting ready to leave, and some of the guys on this team blame him for somebody else's death, and they have trouble trusting him, which I think was silly. It's absurd. But they needed something, so that's what they went with. What I loved about this is the cast was really good. They were fun. Everybody really played their part well. Michelle Rodriguez, coming off of her fail from being kicked off the show Lost for her DUI. This was her first big thing after she got kicked off.
You're roboting a little, Gary.
And then she got brought back for more sequels of You're Roboting.
Yeah,
Is it me?
Gary.
No,
okay.
It's Gerry.
It's StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there watching this, and I've driven. That's around Marshall Street, close to downtown. It's just off of downtown where they filmed this in Shreveport.
Michelle Rodriguez got so lucky getting off of Lost. Let's just say that if she'd stayed with that show. Oof.
Well, she was lucky, but the fact is she got kicked because she got, I think it was 2 DUIs. It was the second DUI that got her fired.
She had to read those scripts. I have some empathy, but you shouldn't do what she did.
I like her. She always plays badass characters.
Yeah, her first movie, Girl Fight, is actually a really good film.
Yes, very good movie.
Yeah.
And in that one, she plays a boxer, as I recall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite is Blue Crush, where her and Kate Bosworth just hang out in bikinis and surf the whole movie. I'm not sure there's anything else going on.
Never seen it, but I've seen photos, and that's all I needed to see.
Yeah, that's basically that movie's one long moving photo. They talk in it. I don't know what they're talking about.
Were
And
they?
not to mention, one of my favorite things to do, and I know a lot of guys do this. You like to look up the name of one of your favorite actresses, and you put their name in Google, and then immediately follow that with the word nude.
No, I've never done that. I've never once done that.
Never
ever.
done
And,
that at all. Deleted.
I will swear to that in court.
You know what
You're a
I like
liar.
to do? I use the other N word. I use their word and then put now. Liv Tyler now.
Oh, you will do
Bridget
that for
Fonda,
actresses that are older. Yeah.
Bridget
What do you
Fonda
look like
now. Bridget
Oh God,
Fonda
not
now.
Bridget Fonda
Oh,
now.
no.
Don't. What?
And then you look at Danny
Hurting
Elfman
me.
now. What is going on with Danny Elfman and her? Like they're married and they couldn't look more.
They're Scientologists, dude.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Scientology ruins
Explains a lot.
them, Brian. Ruins.
Number one, start smoking. Yeah.
Well,
Unless
they're
you're
both
already a
Scientologists, and I
superstar.
guess
They
Like
need
Tom
to siphon.
Cruise.
They need to siphon living energy in the way of Tom Cruise. So
I've been by Clearwater. Yeah. Those people.
Scientology
that's
must have
strange.
stolen the.
Scientology flows only one way, so all the youth goes to Tom Cruise.
Does he lift it up like the Highlander with like a lightning storm around him?
I think
that why
Scientology
he's still
stole
alive?
the locks to their.
I'm Thomas Cruise Mapother of the clan Mapother.
It's sort of like that South Park episode with Christopher Reeve when he's like sucking
Oh,
the gore
no.
out of babies
Yeah.
to maintain his ability to walk.
Yeah, I guess that's the secret behind Tom Cruise not dying in his crazy stunts.
Is in Scientology there's a giant electrical ball that collects the souls and energy from people, and it feeds only one way to Tom Cruise.
Right to him.
I'm just imagining Cruise getting hit with the electricity and Miss Cabbage like it's alive. He only looks 40.
Yeah, and after the 80s, man, you really see Miscavige really trying to look more and more like Tom Cruise. It's weird.
I know, right?
Scientology period is weird.
His
slappy Miscavige is
with
weird.
Tom Cruise is almost as bad as what's his name that did Tropic Thunder. And his fixation with Tom Cruise.
Pops!
Yeah.
Dude, where have you been?
Hey,
Hey,
Pops.
Pops. Holy shit. I haven't seen you in a while, dude. Last time I saw Pops was on somebody else's stream when I was on there.
Pops,
Might have been
did you break
Midnight Ted.
YouTube etiquette and say the truth? Is that what happened? Did you get in trouble for a comment? Did you speak the truth?
Well, you never get in trouble in here for that.
No, you don't.
Just not here, but I've been slapped on the wrist for it a couple of times on my channel.
Anything that's pro-military or pro-soldier, pro-warrior is good with me.
Yeah.
And I like the action. You're not wrong. It's a Michael Bay type film. But Michael Bay puts out some really good action stuff.
Yeah, he does. Everybody shits on Michael Bay. I enjoy his movies.
He's
13 Hours is great. I'm sorry. I think that.
Yeah, 13 hours.
13 Hours is his magnum opus.
Yeah.
He'll never make anything better than that.
No, I don't think he will either. But man, that first Transformers blew me away the first time I saw it.
Did he make Pearl Harbor?
The first one was good. The first one was very
I'm
good.
sorry to hear that, Pops. I hope it gets better, man.
Is Pearl Harbor Michael Bay?
Now, one of the things I pointed out
Yes, I
because we
think it is.
watched
Yeah.
Anima and I
Taxi.
watched two films. Anima and I watched two films yesterday. We watched Battle Los Angeles, and then we watched Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
And there are elements of Battle Los Angeles in Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
We're doing that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Nice.
We have to. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Every time I say I'm not going to go see a Tom Cruise movie in the theater, I blow it, man. I did not go see that in the theater, and I was kicking myself in the ass for when I saw it on TV. I was like, wow.
I'm going to let you know right now. Two of our future episodes that are already planned are going to be these guys here because we got Rambo. We're going to be doing Rambo.
Yes.
But then I'm waiting for them to finish loading. Here we go. Here's Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And Aliens.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. The Space Marines. What's
Colonial
up?
Marines.
The
I'm
Colonial
recently
Marines.
doing Aliens, so I have to watch it because I don't want to.
Aliens is awesome.
Oh,
You're gonna
girl,
love it.
no,
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie like the original. It is an
No, it's
all-out
That's what he
80s
keeps
action
telling
movie.
me.
It's fantastic. You will
It's
never
even
forget
say
Bill
that it's got
Paxton in it.
horror elements in it because it is straight up an action
It
movie.
is, and it's great.
The only scene I think that's going to freak her out is when not Bishop, what's his name?
Bishop.
It's Bishop
No,
in
not
that
Bishop.
one,
The other guy tries to kill her, and the girl.
Burke.
Oh yeah.
Like Burke.
Burke.
When
Yeah.
Burke kicks the tanks over or loosens them up so the face huggers are loose.
The face huggers are running around. Yeah,
that's an intense scene for somebody that's got a phobia of spiders. So.
That and when the Marines do find that one girl alive in the cocoon when they're going through the catacombs at the beginning.
That's rough.
The player invasion at the end by Ripley is also slightly. I think they kind of inverted the original movie, where the original movie is like horror, and then at the end it sort of gets to be actiony. This one is like action, and then we.
The Alien is straight up a gothic horror story, a ghost story. It's like a haunted house story. They're trapped inside this ship, a haunted house.
Yeah,
it's straight up horror.
Yeah.
Whereas Aliens is well, it's James Cameron.
It's a Vietnam movie.
He's such an idiot for saying that. It's like, first of all, you didn't even serve in Vietnam, so how the fuck you know it's your Vietnam War film? God, he's such an idiot.
And Bill Paxton is worth the price of admission in Aliens. Trust
me.
me.
Yeah, Hudson.
I will never forget him in that. Yeah.
I remember my ex wanting to watch this.
I'm Hudson. That's Hicks.
I didn't last long.
When can I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
Hey, Vasquez, has anybody ever mistaken you for a man?
No, have they?
It's so great. Oh man,
some of the best freaking lines are from Hudson in that movie.
You know it,
Paxton. By the way, this is your moment of Zen for today. Here we go. Historical footage of the last T-Rex serving his country in World War I, followed up by a comment. But isn't that a Jeep? And the T-Rex is holding a Browning M2, which wasn't used until 1933. So isn't that from World War II?
Wait.
Awesome. I hate when people misrepresent history like that.
Yeah, you got to take the thing down. So I think this footage is actually World War II. I fucking love this. It fucking slayed me when I saw that, and I'm like, I got to put that up today.
They served all the way up until Vietnam too. I mean, this misrepresentation of history has just got to go.
Yeah, Vietnam was clearly a war for raptors.
Hey,
I just gotta say really quick, don't you love in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies when they like every once in a while they're like, the military wants these, and you're like, wow, how many soldiers would it take to corral this thing to get it to where you would let it loose to do like nothing but havoc? Like, what kind of mission could you send these things on? They're absolutely unpredictable, like destruction machines.
Yeah, I always thought that was a dumb point. I just thought it was. By the way, Wade is here this morning. Real Wade Nation Gaming.
Good morning.
Is here. And of course, Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000 is here too. And of course,
hello, Brandon.
So good morning, everybody. And we're about at that point where we need to start the slideshow. So I'll go ahead and add it. And we'll do it this way. There we go.
Do you want me to take down the banner?
The movie is Colombia. Now I could just edit this and move this up slightly. There we go.
Gotta say, I always loved that Columbia Pictures logo.
Yep. Big fan. I liked it when they did the update and the model, she cued the button. Everybody thought it was Annette Bening, but it's not. There was an actual model.
That was shot in backyard, right?
Bening.
I don't know what you said, Martin. What?
I don't worry.
No, Teague started to talk over you. I couldn't hear what you said.
I think I remember the original Columbia logo picture was shot in a backyard. It was a relative of the photographer. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, some of the little pet peeves I have with this film one, it doesn't have a story. There's no story. It's just straightforward action from
It's just a
beginning to
fight.
end. But it's an event film. It's the event. I was disappointed that it wasn't a period piece. I wanted a story about the actual Battle of Los Angeles incident, which was kind of told in the movie 1941 by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that. We got this action yarn. And the only reason why I like this film solely is because I like Eckhart. He's one of my favorite actors since 1997. I saw him in a little movie called In the Company of Men, and he blew me away at how good he was. That movie's dark. It is a dark, freaking movie, and it is not for the tame of heart to watch because it's that heavy a subject. And I'm like, who is this guy? So I've been watching him, everything he's done. I love this guy as an actor. And to see him do a movie that's pro-Marine, pro-warrior, made me happy.
Yep.
And this is a straight-up combat movie. That's all it is.
Yep.
There's no story.
Urban warfare.
It's urban warfare. But they don't even get it right. I got to be honest with you. The first time they move down the street, they're moving down the street wrong. I don't know who their military advisor was, but he had him, and it may have been the director too. The director absolutely can make decisions against the military advisor. We've seen that with Saving Private Ryan and other films.
Yeah, that's one question that I had was just how much authority over that does the technical advisor have? I mean,
very little.
Does the director?
Yes, they do.
Down,
they do.
Or?
They do have a say, but the fact is, they can be overridden by the director.
They're just advisors.
Final say.
Yeah.
And Dale advised Steven Spielberg not to do things that he did. And he still did it. Talking full voice in German-occupied France. Walking less than, 3 meters.
Yeah, they'd have been spaced out a lot further than they were,
Way. And no talking. A lot of hand gestures. If they needed to talk, they would call everybody up to a rally. They would do this. This is the symbol. Rally up.
Since this movie, the director's only done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014, by the way. I was just checking into that.
Yeah, not a very good film.
Most of the battle scenes in this are filmed almost directly right underneath the I-20 overpass on the Shreveport side of the Red River. Yeah. My stepson was driving on the Clyde Fant Parkway going towards downtown the day they were doing a bunch of pyro, and he's an Iraq war veteran. He had to pull his car over. He had major PTSD that day. He had a bad day that day.
Voidfish can't stay too long, but good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good Monday.
I found the guy who was the military advisor. It's Tom Minder or whatever. He's
what
done
else has he
a couple of
done?
movies.
No, let us know what they are.
Cloverfield. Terminator.
That's J.J. Abrams.
There's only a couple of scenes in there that were actually I like the combat scenes in the film, where they're firing up this thing. Yeah,
that monster was terrible looking too.
I have still not ever seen Cloverfield.
It's terrible.
It was a terrible experience.
I'm not going to shit on it because I liked elements of this film. My favorite thing is when what's her name, the beautiful Jewish actress, explodes from infection. That was fucking awesome.
She explodes, huh? Cool.
Yeah.
She goes behind a screen because they wanted to do it on camera as people are moving around, and you see she's swelling, and then all of a sudden her shadow disappears in an explosion of gore on the plastic.
Yeah,
I may have to watch that now
because this thing had underwater fleas, and these underwater fleas were gigantic, and they would attack people. And that, just like with a mosquito bite, you get a swelling, but these things are so big that they cause your entire body to become infected and inflate and explode. It's goofy. Goofy.
Because there's that dichotomy of shit. She's dead because she was cute and she's not in the rest of the movie. But then you're like, damn, that was a good effect.
Yep. It was my favorite part. And I like the way that they represented soldiers in the film because they tell them we're getting ready to do Operation Hammer Down. You have so much time and that's all you've got. Be at the rally point or you're dead because they're going to bomb the park.
I'm running for coffee. I'll be right back.
Nobody talk. We'll just wait here for him.
Okay.
Stop it, you goon.
I'm trying to figure out who the exploding actress is by looking at the credits for Cloverfield.
She was in that TV series about Masters and Johnson.
Lizzie Kaplan.
Yeah. Lizzie Kaplan.
Odetta.
No, it's Lizzie Kaplan.
Okay.
She's gorgeous.
Yes.
Lizzie Kaplan is so beautiful. She's got the smoky eyes. And she's really good in that film. She and TJ Miller were the best part of that film. And God, there's a guy who destroyed his career. He destroyed his career.
This is the Batman.
I don't know if he'll ever
director,
recover from what he did. What's that?
I'm just looking at the credits for the other movie for Cloverfield. I had always thought it was J.J. Abrams because of some of the filming styles.
Produced
Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay,
Matt Reeves
that's why it's
directed
got that J.J. kind of look and the shaky cam, and it's sort of
Matt
has
Reeves is a J.J. acolyte. And I'm always cautious with J.J. acolytes because they tend to be terrible filmmakers.
Show me the one that worked out.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's still fucking making money. And on top of that, his acolytes keep getting. We got Batman 2 coming up, and apparently he's going to be working on the Arkham film.
I think he's stuck with Star Trek and nothing else right now. I think it's starting to look like they're going to use every single person that will do it to make a Kelvin Star Trek movie, but they're going to make it around.
I don't think that's going to happen because here's what
I don't feel good about it either.
Every year to 2 years, there's an announcement for a Star Trek movie. And what it is they're dipping their toes in the water to see what'll happen. Nobody wants to see a JJ Star Trek.
They're trying to get it produced. They're trying to get some backing, but I think Tom may have actually said that this year or next is pivotal, or they'll lose the rights. Like they've got to make a movie now. So this is now a desperation movie that might get made because this movie would be Kelvin Star Trek prequel, but with Patrick Stewart. So all sorts of insane time travel and to confuse the contract as much as they can.
Well,
Battle LA, huh? I'm surprised to see this film featured. I know this one isn't generally well liked. Personally, I think it's harmless. It's not like it was disliked. It made its money. The thing about the film is it has no story. It's just an action film with Marines. My problem is, the military advisor makes some huge screw ups. Nothing annoys me more than, and Anima picks it up. They'll go head to the TOC, but in this film they go head to the TOC, Tactical Operations Center. And it's like, and people who say FOB.
FOB, yeah, instead of FOB.
We don't say it. We say TOC and we say FOB.
Yeah.
Do your research.
And I think a lot of the reason why people think that this movie is not well liked is because of the critical response. And what you got to remember there is that the mainstream critics are not going to approve a movie that's pro-soldier or pro-military.
Pro-soldier, yep.
Hey, Crazy Frog.
I don't like to say pro-military because the movie isn't pro-military; it's pro-warrior, and. And I'm only differentiating because people make the mistake with me that I'm pro-military. I'm like, I support the military, but I am pro-soldier. Anybody who's boots on the ground gets called soldier by me. If you're boots on the ground, you're a soldier. Marine, Navy, Air Force, doesn't matter. Once you become boots on the ground, what you were before ceases to exist. Mm-hmm. It's like they told us every Marine is infantry. They're all trained the same way. Same thing with Army.
Yeah.
Every soldier that graduates basic training is basic infantry.
Yep.
Doesn't mean they're going to be good at it.
No. but they're all trained in how to use the weapon. They're all trained in basic combat maneuvers, wedge formation, all that stuff. No.
Yeah. So if you like, okay, you were talking about like the reviews. It carries a 5.7 on IMDb, and it's got a 37 by critics. And I don't give a shit what critics think. I really don't care, especially when it comes to military stuff.
They hated Star Wars, man. Come
48%. So it's almost got a 50% rating with fans. So it's like the popcorn things knocked over. But the fact is a lot of the people who do like it are people who are in the military. They tend to like it because it focuses on combat. My favorite scene is one of the first action scenes. Is right after they hit the street, and of course they screw up on the street scene. It was the first thing I pointed out. Didn't we watch this with Don Eckhart or something? Or talk it up? Yeah, we talked it over with Don Eckhart because Don and I were talking about it's like when you hit the street, the first thing you're taught is hug that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of the middle of the street. Don't be near vehicles. Hug the wall. And you go back to World War II footage and photos, you'll see a lot of guys in Salerno, they're hugging those walls, man, staying close to those stone and brick walls. It's your friend.
Yes.
Especially when bullets start flying. It is your friend.
Capitino's in the house.
Hey, Capitino Cameraman Che is here. Good morning. Fellow grunt. I see John Cipolla is here too, or Cipolla.
And
Bud
That's Italian for onion.
Bud Badinter is here. And who else did you say?
Here. Rico's Roughnecks.
Rico's Roughnecks, that's right. I've always wanted to have somebody, because Dale Dye did his best with that film. He really did. Dale Dye was, my boss was the senior military advisor for that movie, Starship Troopers. But I want to see a real Starship Troopers movie with the armor. I want to see the book.
With
closer to the book, yeah.
Cheap.
Well, that movie's still great, though.
They made the armor made up in the direct-to-video sequels with very bad CGI.
It's got Charlie Sheen's ex. You can't go wrong.
And Neil Patrick
Harris? His ex? Neil Patrick Harris is Charlie Sheen's ex?
Yeah, I think the three of them all dated at once. Yes,
you kind of need to spread that one out a little bit, not have them so close together.
Commas are important.
Possibilities.
Denise Richards.
That's a mental picture.
Mombi just became a new member. Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
And welcome, Mr. House Party.
Hello, sir.
Oh, which part were you with me on there, Daryl? The pro-military thing or pro-soldier thing?
Oh, he's both. He's pro-warrior and anti-war. Yeah.
Look, you'll never see anybody that's more anti-war than a warrior. They would prefer not to have to be fighting. But the fact is, there is something that's occurred because of the last few decades, because they wouldn't reinstate the draft. So they create a backdoor draft, which ends up having people being deployed multiple times, which is, I consider, very bad thing to do, because you're creating psychological issues when you do that. And you get what's referred to as war junkies. These are guys who are they don't feel human anymore unless they're back with their team doing combat shit. And it's something I talk about with the character of John Russell in Vindicated, because all he wants to do is get back to his team. And it's not just, there is the element that it's that connection to your team, that you love your team. It's that is my family. That's who I want to die with, kind of thing. That's true. But there's also the element that these guys have seen so much action that they like the rush they get from it. And you'll talk to guys who are combat vets, I have, that will tell you, yeah, there's a rush. You get a rush from surviving a situation. And the most recent footage of those Marines sitting around inside of a wall, stone wall, and a huge I think it was a 5-ton round hit close by, and it shook the wall. Dust went up, and they were knocked slightly over by it, and then they just start chuckling and laughing. And I'm like, until you get to know combat vets, that's something that's hard to understand. But I get it.
Gerry,
I've seen it.
You're a medical guy. Is it possible to become addicted to adrenaline?
Yes, it is. That's why war junkies are. War junkies are guys who become so hooked on the rush that they're ready to go all the time.
They can't do civilians anymore.
You'll see guys like that also have problems with their social life, their personal lives. When they're on downtime, they have a tendency of drinking or doing recreational. It's the adrenaline. Absolutely. It's the rush. It's the rush.
They can't function
You're right
normally anymore. They get bored.
I know my stepson was self-medicating when he got back. I just told him, don't do it here at the house. I was going to give him about a year to, get his mind right.
Well, it's my brother Steve, when he got back from Vietnam, man, he was a heroin junkie. He got hooked on heroin. Yeah, he smoked weed too, but his big thing was when the money was there, he wanted to do heroin. Almost killed him.
Yeah.
All three of my older brothers became junkies, and it killed my brother Michael because he got a hepatitis C from it, and he didn't treat it, and it ended up causing cancer, and it killed him. My brother Jim and my brother Steve both got treatment. My brother Jim was almost in the same boat as my brother Michael, and my brother dying woke him up, and it saved him. And not only did it save him getting treatment, he completely cleaned his life up. And my brother Jim is, I hated him as a kid. I just absolutely despised him. There was a moment when he shoved me into that the carport shed in Phoenix. And I was told never to go in there because there were black widows. And he shoves me in and shuts the door. And I think I was like 6, I think. Oh. And I just stood at the door. I was afraid to touch the door because in my mind, there were black widows on the door handle. And I'm freaking out, screaming. And I don't know how long I was in there, but by the time my brother Mike got home, I was hoarse. I was like, and he opens the door and he goes, "What the hell are you doing in here?" And all I could say was, "Damn."
Yeah. Woof.
So he walked into the house and he asked my brother, he yanked those big 70s headphones off of him, yanked them off his head with big coiled cord. Because he's yelling for him and he wouldn't respond because he's listening to music, yanks it off his head. And, "What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "Did you lock Gerry in the carport's shed?" And he goes, "I didn't lock it. I just shut the door." And he says, "You may as well have locked it. He wouldn't touch the door." And Jim would not become repentant. He would not apologize. And so the younger middle brother kicked his ass. And I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, raspily, "Kill him! I just wanted him to kill my brother Jim. I was so angry at what he did. You don't get as much as a reactive grunt defensive maneuvers, but it takes hold quickly. And when you're an aggressor initiating combat offensive maneuvers, look, I do know this. Like I was talking about it yesterday with a couple of guys. I said I was very prone to violence when I was younger. I wasn't a violent person. I was prone to violence. That meant that I only knew one reaction to things. There's no gray area. It was like, as one of my buddies once said, Gerry goes from A to Z. There's no transitional, just straight. I go straight from laughing, joking to, outright murder. Because when I go at somebody, I'm going at them. And I throw all care out. It's like, nothing matters to me except for beating somebody's ass. Nothing matters. And it was a problem for me when I was young because that was what I would do. And there's a rush you get from that. There's a lot of adrenaline going. And it feels good when you're done. Oh, my God. Did anyone notice that Gerry mentioned the back door a few minutes ago? Of course I do. I talk about the back door all the time. It's my favorite thing. You're shocked by this, Che?
I'm just sitting here watching the slides, and I forgot how good this cast is, man. They've got some
also the effects in it are really good too. I love these shots of the Chinooks.
Your favorite thing?
And I think this was the first job of this visual effects company.
They did a fantastic job. I love the explosions, everything about this.
There are things going on in the background that I don't think anybody notices unless they've watched it multiple times that would be set pieces in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the special effects are really very good. I agree.
I'm telling you, man. I saw it again last night, this time in 4K for the first time, and I noticed a ton of new elements that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about 4K are the things that you notice.
What's amazing is the human eye doesn't perceive things in 4K. We're right around 3 with our eyes. But the fact is, at 4K, our 3K vision sees so much more. And it's why, even though I got this just now, I love this Quigley Down Under, I do want to get the 4K on that one. Mm-hmm. I can hardly wait to see some of that photography or cinematography in that film. Canadian Spider-Man says, Chinook helicopters kicked ass, must be Canadian with that name. Canuck. I never got to fly in them. I've been in Chinooks, but I've never been off the ground in one. What I was in was Blackhawks and Hueys. That's all I ever got to ride in.
They're loud.
And when you ride in them, you're cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, because in the military, part of the whole rules of judge advocate, JAG, the whole one of the JAG rules is that you're either a driver or a co-driver. There's no such thing as a passenger in a vehicle in the military. Mm-mm. You're either a co-driver or you're cargo, period. And the only way to not get blamed for an accident with a vehicle is to be cargo. Because if you are a co-driver, that means, like in Humvees, every single person sitting at a Humvee is a co-driver. And they got a number with them. Co-driver 1 is the guy in the right seat. And then the guy right behind the driver is co-driver 2, co-driver 3, and so on. And if you have an accident, everybody in that vehicle is held responsible. Not just the main driver.
We're equipment. Our friggin' item number is our social security number.
Yep.
Basically it.
Remember back when they said never give out your social security number, and then the U.S. military turned our serial numbers into their social security numbers?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that was insane. Yeah. That lasted a good 10 years, right? And then they backed off of it. My first student ID number was my social security number. I'm like, why would you put this on a document with my picture and address on it?
That is so weird.
I like the modified M4, which is actually called another AR-15 by Bushmaster. And they turned it into a 7.62 NATO round. They put in a new barrel and extended the magazine port and the magazines. And it's a beast of a weapon. It's got a kick to it, too. Yeah, with PG-13, it sucks. It sucks. A movie like this would have fared better as an R-rated movie, been more realistic. But they, look, they made some huge mistakes. One of the other things that bugs me is every single Marine is carrying a weapon with an ACOG on it. And I'm like, where's the red dots and the green dots? Like, they're better for urban combat than the ACOG. The ACOG is for distance shooting. Urban combat, you want your localized sight systems.
Yeah. I tell you what I liked about this movie. A lot of it almost comes off documentary style, like it's found footage stuff. It's pretty neat. My favorite part of it is near the end of it, around the overpass. That part's cool as hell.
Now, for people who don't know, this is Ramon Rodriguez, and he's the star of one of the worst police shows, procedural shows I've ever seen.
Oh God, yeah, that one that came out
Will Trent.
Ago. Yeah.
Will Trent. Just stupid fucking show. I mean, moronic level. And I'll say this, and then someone will go, I really like that show. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to change my phrasing. It's moronic.
I think they were trying to do another Monk.
It's beyond dumb. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And somebody tried to start an argument with me. You could have the inability to read and be a detective. I'm like, no, you can't. Because 80% of your fucking work is paperwork.
Is writing and reading.
Reading reports. Just fucking stupid show.
Yeah.
You cannot be functionally illiterate and be a police detective.
Who wrote that idea? You functionally illiterate to write
decided to make Spock to be
Gerry, you're being ableist.
They made Spock in Kurtzman Trek. Somebody who sees things backwards. What's that called? Dyslexia.
Not backwards.
Now, if he had verbal dyslexia, that's called lystexia.
He has that as well. Believe me. The show doesn't.
Nobody got that fucking joke. Fuck you guys. Nobody got that joke.
I did not. Went right over my head.
Yeah, totally 747. Verbal dyslexia is called lystexia. Think about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I get
it. So they make a deck officer. He is a deck officer. He is a command officer. And they're saying he has dyslexia. And I'm like, that won't happen. He would never be in command. It couldn't happen. He wouldn't.
Levels.
It's not that they wouldn't allow it. It couldn't happen. Because many things are expected.
I have dyslexia, but mine goes from say a 1 to 10 to a 9 if I'm super tired.
For those of you that got the joke,
different levels.
Thumbs up.
One thing is getting it, another thing is liking it.
Okay, now that I see it's spelled out,
lystexia. That means that I do lesbian sex backwards.
Oh my God!
I had to see it spelled out to see the words out of order to see what lystexia actually is. So I would just say lystexics of the world, untie. We have to get together.
I've been saying that joke since I was in high school. I have dyslexia.
I'm gonna roll this.
Dyslexia can kind of come and go. My friend is really successful and he's dyslexic. It's not that severe. You can compensate with letters. It's with numbers. If you're dysgraphic, you're really in trouble.
Numeric dyslexia. And I can do math up to 3 numbers in my head. Once I hit 3 numbers, I can't do math anymore in my head.
In my head, I have more luck than on paper. The numbers start to swim,
What I do really well with is algebra. And I never had trouble. I was a straight A student in algebra because I understand word problems. But once you start getting the numbers, I start having trouble with the numbers.
Give me a Venn diagram any day. I'll figure that one out.
By the way, one of my favorite algebraic puzzles was farmer's got to go cross a stream with 3 items. He has his pet fox, he has his chicken, and he has a bag of grain. And he can only take one across at a time. How does he get them across without the fox eating the chicken or the chicken eating the grain?
You take the fox first. You take the chicken.
I know you're going to figure this one out because you've got a mind for that stuff too. But yes, there is a trick to it. It's pure algebra. I love algebraic puzzles. But I know you know how to do it, Dustwolfen.
Yeah.
Mr. Signer, I had coffee today, Daryl Brewer. First of all, your name is Brewer, so automatically you better drink coffee.
Oh, bye, Mr. Signer.
If you don't drink coffee or beer, you're a terrible brewer.
Yep.
It was really, really good to see you again, man.
Oh, you got to go? All right, Tickletron. Good seeing you, my friend. It's always good to see you.
Bye, and come back.
Now, the pool scene is my favorite scene in this film. It's my favorite moment where the kid who normally plays a bad guy gets to play a soldier who's kind of a good guy. And what is that kid's name? I got to find his name real quick here.
I only have seen him here.
Noel Fisher. Yeah.
Noel Fisher, normally plays a bad guy, scumbag. He is so good as this soldier, but you hate him at the same time. But when he gets trapped with this fucking alien for a little bit, he's so freaked out. It's one of my favorite moments. And when I don't know if it's the sergeant or who says this is, throw a grenade and he frags the pool.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments. And then they think, well, it's over. And the thing jumps out and they're like, and they fight it and then they frag it. Like, that's fucking great stuff. He's just shooting into the pool. Gets in there. I know it's in there.
Well, it also goes.
So long to throw
good on you, bro.
Yeah. It goes to show how tough these aliens are, because they seem almost unkillable at first, and then because they have, when we get to it, that sort of that scene later when they capture one, the torture scene. I felt so sorry for that alien because he pincushions this fucking thing. Just, oh my god,
they were sticking it everywhere until he finds a spot that kills it.
and open it all wide open with their bare hands, and look, that is the stab that killed him. No, maybe it was the whole slashing.
I got to tell you, you've not watched this movie until you watch it with Anima going, ooh. Oh,
well, it is pretty gross.
Oh, the noises she makes and all the gross scenes.
You make noises too. Fuck you.
I want to say good morning to Voidfish, emotionally unstable amphibian, Abdulio. Let's see, Mr. House Party and Canadian Spider said hi too, and Jonathan Hancock is here. So good morning, everybody. We are watching right now the military action film, Battle Los Angeles. I was disappointed initially with the film because I wanted a film about the actual story that it takes its name from. But we kind of got that with the movie 1941 by Steven Spielberg, because basically his assertion is that it was the Japanese. But this one, I kind of like because it's just basically a straightforward action yarn with aliens, military action yarn with aliens. Sort of like the movie Aliens, but with no story, because there's no real story to this. It's characters.
What you just said about the interrogation of the alien, though, it sort of sounds like they're like, how can we get even for those poor doctors
grouped up here? This pisses me off.
For.
Look how grouped up they are in these scenes. This fucking irritates me. You'd be hugging that fucking wall and spread out.
One grenade would take half of them out. Yep.
And they have them saying things that no warrior would say. That annoyed me too. Well, they said it wasn't a blimp because it took a lot of rounds, and rounds would have brought a blimp down. It didn't bring it down. So clearly not a blimp. I'm not saying it was aliens. I'm just saying it wasn't a blimp.
No. Jonathan,
Battleship we did that a couple of weeks back, man. I love the movie Battleship.
Yeah.
And it was a huge inspiration for Vindicated because the colonel that lost his legs in combat that's in the movie playing a wounded warrior was a huge inspiration to Vindicated. Huge.
And he's running around the mountains of Hawaii.
Yeah.
With no legs. That's cool, man. Very cool.
Now, I do also like they move correctly in a lot of the scenes. My problem here is they're too close together.
Mm-hmm.
They're too close together, and also when they're going down the street, they're walking closer to the middle of the street, and you would never fucking do that. You're making a silhouette. You absolutely would be hugging the walls.
Now this is
got it right.
This is one bit where I kind of had a problem with it story-wise.
Okay, what is it?
It sets up this whole sort of, coming in age in combat for Linehan, right? Because you think that's where they're going to build it up to. And then they basically take him out almost right away.
Okay. Well, they take out many of the characters, and they made you care for them and then kill them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
I thought he was going to last through, the whole movie, and he doesn't. And I thought that was maybe a missed opportunity.
That to me is
Well,
called
he's
the
such
Roland
he's
Emmerich
kind
move,
of an
right?
actor that people don't like him. He's a dislikable actor because he's so good at playing dislikable.
Yeah.
His eyes are squinty. He's got beady eyes and just, but it is kind of cool. What he gets that one big scene, and then yes, they wipe him out. But that's combat. Also, I want to point out that Neil Brown Jr. is in this, and of course, if you know SEAL Team, he's one of the main characters in SEAL Team. They must have had some military experience on set. They did. They had a military advisor. He's only worked on a handful of films. One of them was Cloverfield. So he's really good with the combat, not good with what the soldiers do in between scenes. But I'm going to point out again, the military advisor is not always to blame for stuff that gets messed up militarily in a movie. The directors do a lot of the work themselves, screwing things up. Spielberg did some of the stupidest shit in Saving Private Ryan, showing the first shot of them leaving Omaha Beach, walking over a ridgeline. Huge no-no. Huge no-no.
Never be done
Talking
in real
full
life.
voice with each other in German-occupied France. On top of that, they're only walking a few feet apart.
Yeah, that's
in
the
movie.
part when they're walking across a flat open area. They're almost next to each other, and I'm like, nah, they would
talking
never
full
do that.
voice.
Yeah,
and then the one
And
character
the things they say, don't salute the captain. He's only got a captain's bar painted on his helmet. People might know he's a captain if you salute
exactly,
him.
because I pointed that out so many times. It's like, first of all, you're complaining about him being saluted when he's got captain's bars painted on the back of his fucking helmet. It's a sniper's dream. That's a wet dream for a sniper to see captain's bars. Are you kidding me? And it's by choice that command would or wouldn't have their rank put on their helmets. And but when you're going into German-occupied France, you don't want your rank on there, especially when you got a small team like that. He's just asking to get shot. There's so many stupid things in that thing, Teague.
Yeah.
So many stupid things in that movie.
I think really the part in the church where everyone betrays their fate by having a very tropey soldier conversation. It's like, you talked about mom, you talked about mom, you talked about mom. I know who's not making it. You talked about chicks, you're going to be okay. You talked about porn, you're
How
going to be okay.
dare you have hopes and dreams? You're going to die.
Boom.
If I'm ever stuck in a war movie, I get the most primitive weapon I can. I throw away my wallet, my wedding ring, and I make no plans for after the battle. It's just like, what are you going to do later? I don't know.
It's like Bill
Drink
Paxton's, in the movie Tombstone, which we will be doing. I love that movie. It's a huge influence on Vindicated. But Bill Paxton delivers the most horrifying foreshadowing bit of dialogue in that film when he goes, well, I was just reading about how when you die, you see a light. And I'm like, oh, he's the one that's going to die. He's going to die.
But he doesn't have the line. I think it's one of the other cowboys that they get the last thing he goes, he's like looking at him for a second, goes, I don't see no light. Just dies.
No, you're getting it wrong.
Him?
Bill Paxton's the one who says it later.
He's the one who says it?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's laying on the pool table dying.
Yeah.
And he looks up at Wyatt and he goes, Wyatt, remember when I brought up seeing a light? It ain't true. I don't see nothing. And he dies.
Yeah.
That's a great
It's been
scene.
a while on Tombstone.
Yeah, well, I've seen it so many damn times.
I met Val
More than
Kilmer,
7?
and on the autograph, I had him write Play for
More
Blood.
than 7. Predator is absolutely going to be a film we're going to do. And that's a fun action film. Again, Anima probably thinks, oh, it's horror. It's not horror. It is
That's
a
got a
straight up
Navy SEAL
military
in it.
action.
There's some suspense.
That's right, because
I would
people
call it horror.
forget. They think, oh, he graduated as a underwater demolitions. Jesse Ventura.
Yeah,
that's not a SEAL. Yes, it is. If he had to graduate BUDS to be underwater demolitions, you have to graduate from BUDS. Yeah. Don Shipley is the one guy that stepped up and defended him, even though I think he's a shitheel. Jesse Ventura is an absolute shitheel.
He don't even live in this country anymore, man. He lives down in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's living off the grid,
Fuck
bro.
that guy. Fuck
he
that guy.
He lives down in Mexico off the grid, and he does a lot of work with RT. He's on Russian television all the time.
So,
Oh, is
Sci-Fi
it in
Mombi,
Minnesota
be
when he
expecting
ran
us.
for
We will be
President?
doing Predator. The answer to that, Cavatino Calrimache, was from my buddy Jason Pankoki. Jason turned to me back in the 90s, and he says, odds are you're going to die before me because you got me by 12 years. So I'll make sure that your epitaph on your
For you, it'll be an
tombstone.
epitaph.
Yeah. Your epitaph on your tombstone will read these exact words, Gerry, and I think you'll agree. Gerry was a kind and loving bastard.
There you go. Are you still running your comic book thing
I don't know.
at the halfway point, or?
Yeah, we need to do it now.
Okay.
Okay. I will
So
go
that's
with.
what's going to be on my tombstone is Gerry was a kind and loving bastard.
Nah, it should say "fuck spiders."
No, that's mine. That's on mine.
No, it's like it'll probably say, with my luck, I was probably buried with a spider.
Well, here we go with the clip.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
Yay.
Can't wait to see it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I finished a page on Wednesday and started working on 2 other pages. So I'm still moving forward. Whether we get the full funding or not, I don't care. I do want it. The reason I do care is I want Richard Bonk to draw his chapter. If we don't get funded, Richard Bonk's not going to draw the chapter. He has to get paid. Mm-hmm. So Sci-Fi Mombi Predator is fantastic. I agree with you. Let's see. Chase says, on my tombstone, I want Italian sausage, pepperoni, and portobello mushrooms. Benny got me.
Now, are you sticking with the black and white format, or are you going to color it?
Yeah, I'm not coloring that book. No, it doesn't look right in color.
Okay.
It loses its impact. It looks better when it's in straight black and white. Plus, I'm a good artist, so the artwork looks good. I would only do that with
a little
art
bit.
that looks good.
Damn, it's awesome, man. What are you talking about?
But I don't know. Did I do a JPEG of it? Let me see. I'll see if I can upload it. Brand. D. Comic. My project Vindicated. Ink. Let's see. New book.
I tell you, Gerry, I'm really looking forward to this when it's done and released, because I am so psyched to read the rest of this story. It's fascinating.
Yep.
You are going to be shocked by the final chapter.
Gerry, I support this comment. We should do Action Jackson.
Oh yeah, that's.
I love Action Jackson. I love that movie. I mean, Craig T. Nelson showing that he's a martial artist, because he's done it before. There was a little movie called The Osterman Weekend where he does some martial arts in it. People don't know that he carries a black belt, and I can't remember what form it is. And he does some scenes with the fight scene with Carl Weathers, man. I like that movie, dude. I do.
You can't
be
Mr. Incredible and not know martial arts, bro. Come on.
Isn't Action
People
Jackson
think
sort of like he's like subordinate Shaft. Like he's not always like yelling at his boss, but he's a cop, right?
Oh, I
Is that
don't
right?
remember what the main premise is. I just remember
I think he's a cop.
images.
Hey,
Right.
boss,
Yeah.
you have a question about Vindicated
Yes.
from Cavitin.
Read it to me. I'm doing something.
He wants to know who your script editor for the dialogue is.
Script Doctor is the script editor for senior editor for the book. And he's loving everything I'm writing so far. And he loves the story. But he will make sure that everything is correct. And if anything needs to be changed, editorially changed, he will be the one redlining it. So
Yeah,
I hope that answers the question.
This whole sequence on from here to the battle on the overpass is white knuckle stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the bus, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now in this scene, and this was something that I wanted everybody's opinion on, because I don't know if it was just me. Do you think he's maybe trying to get himself killed here, or he's taking an awful chance?
I think he's just okay with it. I think he's just okay with it.
Yeah.
That if he gets off here, he's quite comfortable with it. There's no question. He doesn't have. I wouldn't say he's got a death wish, but I don't think he cares.
Well,
he's got survivor's guilt.
Survivor's guilt. Man. To me, that's what the movie is about: is him getting past his survivor's guilt.
Yeah, that's one way to see it.
Yeah.
The one piece of trivia we can say for the military advisor is he stopped Aaron Eckhart from calling the helicopters choppers. So like, no, they're helos.
That's what you call them, helos.
Yep.
Get to the chopper.
Unless you're what is his name? Great actor. He was oh my god. Stacy Keach.
Stacy Keach, man.
He does not know how to say helicopter. Have you ever heard him say it? It's fucking hilarious. Get onto the heliocopter. I'm
heliocopter.
Like, what?
How did you learn that? And he says,
I was going through my luggage on my trip to England, and I decided to work on my pronunciation.
Yeah, heliocopter. Like, what is wrong with your mouth, dude? I remember as a kid, like, I was sitting there. He was on something. It wasn't my camera. It was one of those things he was on. And he says, it might have been my camera. And he says, heliocopter. And I'm like, I stopped and I'm like, what did he just say?
I think maybe Anima can confirm this.
For
I think
all
British people outright say heliocopter.
For all the Predator lovers in our audience, I have this one.
Get to the chopper! There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek. This is the page I finished on Thursday, wasn't it? It was actually not Wednesday. I think it was Thursday I finished this. There you go.
Nice. That's cool, man. Very cool.
Do a little 3-point perspective
mode to see that one.
I like Southern Comfort. I have it on my hard drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would not mind doing it, but I had so many problems with that movie. Blanks don't work that way.
Yeah,
blanks don't work that way.
No, and the fact that they didn't have flash suppressors on the ends of those weapons.
That's the problem. Blanks don't work that way.
Yeah.
You have to have. It's not a suppressor. It is a clamp that you have to put on the end of your weapon to block the front barrel to cause the gas to go backward to eject the round.
Yeah, that's the only way the rounds would eject. If you fired it without that, it would go off once and it wouldn't recoil. It would just sit there like a dumbass.
You've got a bolt action rifle.
Basically.
That's what it is. You got to keep pulling the charging handle back.
You'd have to keep doing that.
Fire.
Yeah.
I'm okay
that
with
one
the idea
actually
that
was filmed up here too. It was, it takes place in southern Louisiana, but it was filmed on Caddo Lake, which is up here. Yeah,
I like that movie. I have good memories of it. I think isn't it Faceman and Powers Booth?
Yes,
it's
Benedict.
It's
right.
It's one of the
Keith Garrity
is not in it. No,
The Carradine brother.
it's
Keith.
Oh, it's one of the Carradines.
Carradine.
Okay.
Carradine.
It's been a long.
Yeah.
That was an HBO.
not to mention
mainstay.
Brian James is one of the Cajuns in it.
And one of my favorites who gets whacked right at the beginning of it, Peter Coyote. I love everything that guy
Peter
ever did.
Coyote. He's a big old Hollywood lefty too, but I love his acting. He's a very good actor.
I was just getting a clip from Jagged Edge the other night with him in it, where he goes, "He is an Iceman. He is a monster." I love that guy. He's great.
And yes, Powers Booth is great in that film.
He's great in everything. Yeah.
When they have the river scene in Tombstone, I paused it and I said, "This scene went down pretty much the way they show it in the movie.
Yeah,
it's fairly accurate of what happened." You know, and then she watched that scene where he walks out in the middle of all that gunfire, never gets hit once. And that's the thing about Wyatt Earp, never got shot one time.
Nope.
Everybody else around him got shot. Doc, his brothers, everybody got shot. But
So
Wyatt, all those rounds going around him in that river battle, and he doesn't get shot, not once. His clothing did.
yeah.
You know the
He
line.
did not get hit once.
You know the line everybody remembers from Powers Booth in that movie, though. Well,
I use
I
that
love it
meme all the
at the
time.
river scene. He gets so excited. He goes, "Will you look at that?" He's just so excited seeing. And then he's like, "I'm going out there. I got to meet him." And he goes out in the river. And he really did it in real life. They went pistols first, and nobody got hit. So then he pulls up the shotgun, and Val Kilmer yells his final no and just blasts him with both barrels and killed him. For real. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the film. The fictional, but maybe not fictional, is the Johnny Ringo final scene. Because there are two historians that agree with me that he absolutely could have caught a train down there and killed him and gotten back before dying. Because he did a lot of stuff on the verge of dying.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Holliday did. That guy was on the verge of dying for 2 years. He could have died at any moment.
Consumption.
Consumption's awful, man. It's like, imagine emphysema at 1,000 times worse.
Slowly suffocating. Yikes.
Didn't he also only go into being like a gunfighter because his doc title was from the fact that he was a dentist, so you just couldn't go around coughing into people's mouths all day?
Once he got diagnosed with consumption, it was known he couldn't treat anybody anymore. And that was it. And he became a gambler. And
why not?
Well, there is like a bacterium that causes it, right? Like it's not exactly like you get it from hanging around in some uncool places, but like you don't exactly get it from immoral behavior. There's a real cause. Am I right on that one?
Yeah.
It's tuberculosis.
Hey, Gab is in the house.
It's mycobacterium. Mycobacterium. That's what causes it. And I got to tell you a fucked up funny story. When I was a paramedic up in Washington, my partner's driving and we had to pick up a guy who was an involuntary commit to Harborview Psych, and older black gentleman, and we didn't want to have to handcuff him. The cops would have handcuffed him and given to us, and we would have had to do a 4-point. Oh, it's just a pain in the ass. And he seemed calm. So, and I used my training to get him to open up and talk to me. And we're talking back there, we're talking military stuff, his military experiences from Vietnam. And finally, right when we get to the end of the ride, and my partner gets out and he's coming around to the back to open the door so we can take him out and take him inside to the hospital. Right as he's moving around to the back and opens the gates, the guy turns and looks at me and says, "Just so you know, I got TB."
Son of a
bitch. What an asshole.
And my eyes went super big, and I went, crazy or not, I want to whoop your ass right now. So my partner and I had to be tested over and over again for weeks.
Yeah.
And that freaked me out.
I got tested.
Those exact words. By the way, I got TB. I got TB.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking psycho. Oh. Gap After Dark is here. Jonathan Hancock. I already said that one. Gap is here too. It's good to see you, Gap.
We had an island in New York City in the river that you had to hang out at, or a special place.
Is it called Manhattan?
I think it was called Black Tom's Island, to be honest with you. But they had the sanatorium there with everyone with TB had to hang out until they got better.
I'm being a dick because Manhattan is an island.
It is in fact only about 35 square miles. Manhattan is very small.
Yep.
I wouldn't advise walking through all of it.
Thank you, Gab. That's very kind of you. That was really nice what you just said there, Gary. You're excellent on the show last night. Yeah, hanging out with comic experts is fun. I enjoy it. I like nerding out with my buddies. And Clobbery is my buddy. And I don't call him Clobby, I call him Clobbery. He calls me Gerry, and I call him Clobbery. It's our nicknames for each other.
He's from Louisiana. He's down in Baton Rouge. He's around the state capitol. Yep.
Like there was a point, I was getting really tired last night. We went into 4 hours, and I'm like hit a point where I'm like, "Hey guys, is this show ending anytime soon? I got a show in the morning. I'm falling asleep here." Right. And somebody commented, said, "Oh, it's Courtney." Courtney says, "Don't forget to mute your mic just in case you start snoring, Gary." And I said, I'm getting sleepy, but the fact is I can't fall asleep with Mark in one ear and Clobbery in the other ear because they're just talking and it's just impossible. Both of them have voices that you will not fall asleep while they're talking.
No. Mark is from New York. I happen to know that one.
This scene is so
Mark
gnarly.
C with a big D. Oh, wait.
Yeah. So this scene is so gnarly because some of the hits that these guys take, Oswald getting pancaked by that car. That near miss that Lockett has. That other guy getting blown off the bridge.
Stavro, man, that was bullshit.
Stavro was bullshit. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I think he actually survived in the original script, Stavro. So I don't know why they made that change.
Which one's Stavro?
He's the guy who gets blown up on the truck.
Okay.
On the bridge.
He was driving the bus.
He's driving the bus. Yeah.
Is it for the sake of Roland Emmerich? Because he kills off so many Chads in his movie. Like he makes you like the character and gets rid of them like routinely.
Well, that is a rule in that story making is to, if you plan on killing people, you want your audience to give a shit. So you got to make them likable. Otherwise, it's just nobody cares. That's why I made fun of that remake or reboot of Halloween, because every single character gets murdered. You don't give two shits about.
No.
It's like
Zombie made them all just unlikable people. And
the fat kid was the only sympathetic character, and he had the dumbest fucking death. I hated that movie.
You should hate that movie. It doesn't get the entire mystique behind the Halloween story. He's supposed to be.
Don't get me wrong.
He's not supposed to be some trailer trash dude that lost his mind from abuse. He's supposed to be the boogeyman. Okay, they're supposed to.
Well, that's Rob Zombie's.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's was fucking stupid. It's like
it was.
The thing that was scary about the first Halloween, the original, was the fact that this was a normal kid from a normal family.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a happy family. They were not. There was no drugs or any abuse like that. Sister's a whore, but that happens in every family. And
then he puts on a William Shatner mask and takes on a whole new personality.
And puts on, and Teague, I've said this many a time, William Shatner has the scariest face in horror ever.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he does.
It's kind of like the Enemy Within episode made out into a movie.
There you go.
I tagged him once. I said that a couple of years back, and I tagged Shatner on it. He never liked it.
He might just block you or come after you. William Shatner is the feistiest night.
I'm a big fan of his. And it would suck if he did that.
I know. Someone had to explain to him who Doomcock was, because I think Doomcock himself said his initial reaction was to block him. Yeah. It's like, who the hell is this? That's typical William Shatner.
Yeah, I did a stream the other night with some guy named something Deathcock, and I said, "What's worse than having Doomcock? Deathcock."
Deathcock.
Hey, boss.
I might dump that.
Did we do Where Eagles There, or is in the queue? I can't remember.
What's that?
Did we already do Where Eagles There?
No, we've done Guns of Navarone, but we haven't done Alistair McLean.
Yeah, we did Guns and Force Tim, but we've never done Where Eagles Dare, and I would like to do that one. I have that.
That's
one.
Clint
It's
That's
on
Clint
our
Eastwood,
list.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
He's in that one.
please never do The Eagle Has Landed.
Clint Eastwood
though.
and
That is a
Richard
horrible
Burton.
movie.
Richard Burton was terrified to do any action because he was a drunk, and Clint didn't want to do any of the dialogue, so he gave up 70% of his dialogue to Burton and other characters because he didn't want his character talking that much. He understood what Stallone understood when he saw the first edit of Rambo. This is dumb.
Yeah. My character would never say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sci-Fi Mombi Teague, everybody that loves William Shatner, we absolutely got to start tagging whenever he makes fun of somebody. Hashtag Shatner shatting.
Shatner shatting. There you go.
Every time he tweets anything, I just retweet it with William Shatner is effing legend.
If you can find it, guys, one of the funniest things
his name is perfect as the what do you call it? I just forgot the word.
Act of being Shatnered upon, so to speak.
Shitting is the act, but once you've shit on somebody, you shat on them in the past tense.
Shatner shatting.
So his name is Shatner, so it's perfect for when he shits on somebody that he shat on them.
I highly recommend if you can find it. The skit he did back in the 80s on friggin' Saturday Night Live. It was supposed to be him and Leonard Nimoy.
Get a life.
Him and Leonard Nimoy
it's just the show.
Was supposed to be on the show together, and Nimoy was so appalled by the damn skit that he wouldn't do the show, and Shatner did it anyway.
But he's in Star Trek 09. That didn't bother him,
right?
Leonard, you got to talk.
Yeah.
But it's too late.
Red matter stabilized their son.
It's one of the greatest things William Shatner ever did. It's hilarious, man. Man, it's good. It's so
actually
fun.
right now we only have 3 of the original cast still alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's enough to crew the ship though. We've got Chekhov, Sulu, and Kirk, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have George Takei. We have the guy that got brought in second season.
Walter Koenig.
Chekhov, Walter Koenig.
He has the same name as the German sniper that was sent after Zizek, the great Russian sniper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Which I thought was weird that they would hire a guy named Walter Koenig to play a Russian.
Gene Roddenberry was in World War II. He was like, I love the irony. It's like, you can only have this job if you change your name to Walter Koenig, Dave. It's like, well,
it's sort of like when they wanted to make that movie about John Lennon back in the 80s, after he was killed, and they wanted to make a movie about him, and they hired this guy, and his stage name was his stage name, and they found out what his real name was, and his real name is the same name as the guy who shot John Lennon.
David Hinckley. They changed Greatest American Hero too. He was Mr. Hinckley until that, and then he was Mr. Hankley afterwards.
Don't forget that the name of the character in Total Recall was what was the vice president?
Quail.
His name was not Quaid; it was Quail in the short story and in the original script.
That short story is the definition. What is it? 21 pages.
Yeah.
And no one's ever come close to trying to do anything like that story.
Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay, we got everybody.
I think we're shouted out for the moment.
So we're well deep into the third act now, and he's once again prepared to do a mission that's probably going to get him killed.
He
doesn't have a death wish.
No, not yet. He's still planning how to get to the extraction point.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the revelation of the possibility of he can find the.
Well, this is where he's explaining to the kid that his brother was his best friend. And he says, and I remember every soldier who died under my command. And he gave every name and their serial numbers. Mm-hmm. He gave away their social security in the movie.
We see a guy in back like writing down the numbers, like looking over. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have a lot of money after this battle.
Just go right to their bank accounts.
It's like, sir, we need you need a little more financing. Like, hold on, I'm also known as Leonard Banks. Let's just take this one.
Nope. Funny thing in this scene, you can see how Eckhart shifted his vision from the actor to the teleprompter.
Yeah, I got to read off numbers. Put those numbers right there behind his head. There you go. Man,
and these days, Aaron Eckhart looks like a different guy. There's a decent Roland Emmerich Midway movie, and they have to shoehorn the Doolittle. They have to shoehorn that Doolittle raid into it because China pays for that movie, which is why the Japanese are not shown to be that honorable. But he's good in that. It's just that the movie is just that.
It's far more accurate than the Midway film from the 70s.
Agreed. And the thing that has going for it is that Roland Emmerich now has mastered the CGI, and he'd been working on and retooling that script for years. Even though the civilian part of the story doesn't work, he starts to think he's making Gettysburg after a while, and the end credits betray that. It's not Gettysburg. It's still a really good movie. And thank God he was.
You knew that Roland Emmerich was taking himself too seriously when he did the Shakespeare movie, and I'm like, what?
He did a Shakespeare movie, really?
Yeah, what Shakespeare
Anonymous?
Movie did he do?
Anonymous.
That's right, Anonymous.
Wow.
It's the story that Shakespeare was not really Shakespeare; that it was another person that wrote all the plays and poems. Or
that's a popular theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything to it, but that's a popular theory because the only evidence of the real William Shakespeare's signature is that he made an X on his deed. He couldn't write. But I mean, you could take dictation even back then.
They say the same about Homer, that it wasn't just one author. But
that's more believable.
Yeah, Homer was really the publisher. But Guerreros is a very good film. I've seen that movie. Came out in 2002, I think.
2002.
Yeah, 2002.
All I know is Roland Emmerich is really good at destroying the world, first of all. Secondly, he's made the staple for my 4th of July viewing, and that's The Patriot. I love that freaking movie.
Yeah.
He has a movie called Independence Day, and you went with that.
Today's the 4th of July, our Independence Day.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Joe goes quietly into the night every year.
What?
Turning that jet jersey.
I watch Independence Day too, but I like The Patriot better because
I got to tell you, the director of Independence Day, man, he did the best 4th of July movie called The Patriot.
Yeah,
he did. In my
Tom
opinion,
Brady's not even in The Patriot. What kind of Patriot movie is that?
I love it when Joe is unintentionally ironic.
Whatever.
They just don't get it, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe buys one jet jersey a year to set on fire on Independence Day in his barbecue.
I got to tell you,
the picture you see with me, I don't know. Maybe you've seen my my
I love the movie The Patriot.
I don't know.
I love the movie The Patriot. I do.
It's got Odo in it.
So many problems with that movie. Like, how many sons had to fucking be murdered in front of him before we understood he's angry and wants revenge?
Right.
It's like, oh my fucking God. Stop killing his children.
He's bad at making chairs, too. That's another tertiary trait that people forget. He's not a very good chair maker.
No.
I actually have a funny story involving that movie. They filmed much of it not too far away from where I live. And I actually almost, and by that I mean almost, met Mel Gibson. I missed him by 10 minutes.
You were at the bar that night?
No. No, he went
church, perhaps? Were you at the church that weekend?
No. I was working in a local restaurant, and
I was close.
They said, dude, you just missed Mel Gibson. He was here. You got to be shitting me. I thought they were making it up. I said, no, he was here. He left 10 minutes ago.
He had a lot to say about the Middle East on the way
call me?
Okay, here we have the perfect example of Joe. Hey, it's MLK Day. Let's watch a movie about JFK.
By the way, just a quick addendum to Mel Gibson. I don't know who knows this, but 6 months short of retirement. He was guilty. We saw the video, but 6 months short of retirement, the cop who arrested him was released from the force without benefits for just not being the greatest cop. Just happened a few weeks ago.
Imagine that.
Hey guys.
By the way, I want to point out that the movie Patriot is actually based on a real guy, and I think I would have liked the film better if they had just stuck with it. The film was about the swamp fox.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Francis Marion.
Francis. Yeah, that's it. Francis Marion. Thank you.
Mhm.
He was a real character, and I would have been happier with the film if they just stuck to using a real guy. It's sort of like Pearl Harbor. The romance is what ruined the movie Pearl Harbor, and they had two real pilots that went up in those P-40s that day, and that's who they should have made the movie about, the real guys.
Yeah, I always say the Patriot's the platoon of Revolutionary War movies. It's got everything, all the things you.
My favorite moment was when Daniel Day-Lewis throws that tomahawk. That was a great scene.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, the Patriot, the sacrifice is so that they can get this guy from the swamp all the way up to New Jersey, where most of the real war happened.
Right.
Because the Southern War was low intensity. And we're talking about battles with like 175 Redcoats, 85 Patriots, and like 400 Native American allies.
They're pretty accurate with the battle scenes.
Sides.
I got to tell you,
In the
they
South,
were really accurate.
They're more. I agree. I thought Roland Emmerich did a really good job with that, but it was a challenge. That, like, you can't make a movie without text on screen, and like when you go to the movie, it's like the first thing you see is text on screen. It's like, what kind of challenge was this, Roland? And like every Roland Emmerich movie, even though we only see him for a second, the president is in the movie. He's not president yet, but we see George Washington hanging around.
Yeah, you
doing
do.
his George Washington thing. He rides to the cab.
Isn't it like when the
played
son
by Bill
is
Belichick.
reading a letter and it's somewhere around
Yes.
Potomac, you see him riding a horse through the camp. Yeah,
It's Heath Ledger is either writing home or reading
That's
a
it,
letter,
yeah.
and he's at Valley Forge, and everybody's going through privation, and in the background, like Washington sort of rides through from the background to the midground of the thing, just to show that he's being present and trying to lead his men. And it's weird that the most optimistic and the most laudful and most praiseful portrayals of modern presidents have been from Raleigh Emmerich, who's from Westphalia, West Germany when he was born. I mean, it's Germany now, but still, his unending optimism for America. It's just maybe no American could have it. It's odd. Anima, do you know Roland? He's from the Germany. He's from the Austria area.
Yeah, all Germans know each other, right?
Don't do that.
Don't you guys have like
Just
a
don't
hive
do that.
mind where? Don't you know what the smartest German knows? Like
That's
Anima could do brain
racism.
surgery.
Guys, I need I need a couple of seconds of your time to acknowledge.
Yeah, we need to play a video. We have Zax in
Yeah.
the audience. Morning, Zax. Good to see you, buddy.
Max, hello.
Here we go.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
I love Keith's video the best. I'd like some coffee, black, followed by the subsequent line.
right.
Okay.
I put all that together for him because I really know how to pull the black humor that he's going to laugh at, that he likes.
You managed to
Welcome
have
to
me on the
Breaker.
floor every time. That one's good.
Hey, Woke Breaker.
Nice name.
Yeah. I've
And
been
we
on
have
this one before.
Kingsport in the house.
Hey, Kingsport.
All right, there's a movie that came out back in the 80s that when I saw it, it was called The Patriot. It was a miniseries turned it later into a film. And it starred Burt Lancaster and Richard Crenna. And Richard Crenna plays the part of the real person, Ross Perot.
Mm.
And
Really?
how
He
he
plays
helped
Ross Perot?
rescue.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
Uncommon Valor,
helped
right?
rescue what was it? Some Iranian hostages.
He got a few of his own people out from. They were trapped at Texas Instrument Corporation headquarters, and
Yeah.
they're just quietly communicating back home. Yeah, and I think they based the Uncommon Valor guy after him too, because it was like a similar sort of thing.
It had a really
Little
good
bit
cast.
Patrick Swayze.
I'm looking at it right now. You got Burt Lancaster, Richard Crenna, Jim Metzler, Paul LeMat. There's a guy who disappeared. I don't know whatever happened to that dude. I loved his movies, man. John Doolittle is in it. Oh my God. My God. I want to see that now. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, it's been a
Came out in 86.
I don't think I've seen it since then. Yeah, that's a good one.
I saw it once back in the 90s. I saw it once in the 90s. That's the last time I've seen it. I'd like to get a copy of it. I'm looking to see if they have it on Amazon. Rent or buy it on Amazon. Okay, I'm going to go to Amazon. Look, they've got it. And I just added it to my cart.
Now there's something I haven't seen in forever on his. I'm looking at Lamatte's filmography right here. The Ray Bradbury Theater's on there. Don't see that very often.
The one he did that was crazy was, what was that movie called? Strange Invaders? And that's the movie where practical effects created stringy skin. When they would pull their skin off and you would see the stringy, it was meant to look like a Duramater that
they
you
got
have
the Puppet Master listed.
on your skull.
What'd you say the name of that one was?
Strange Invaders.
Strange Invaders. Okay.
Puppet Master's an awesome movie too, though.
Yeah, there it is. Strange Invaders, 1983. Damn, my senior year in high school. Shit.
Yeah,
I love Rules of Engagement.
I remember seeing him.
One, because my boss was the military advisor on that movie. And I really thought they handled the commentary about the Vietnam War really well. By the way, Cal's here. Morning. Woke Breaker is here.
I thought Rules of Engagement was a rom-com. That's how much I know.
Nancy Allen's
in the military film.
Different Rules of Engagement.
Oh, wow. The RoboCop's partner, right?
Yeah. Nancy Allen? Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
Oh, Strange Invaders? Yeah, it's a must-see.
Yeah.
It is a low-budget sci-fi horror film with comedy elements. And I really love that film. And the stringy, you'll see it when they start to peel the skin, you'll see the stringy shit underneath of it. They created that while making the movie, and it's something that's been used ever since.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Something tells me we're going to get a lot more practical effects after the success of Godzilla -1 for that amount of money. Someone's finally going to say to a director, like, I want this shot, like Gerry said earlier, it's like, with the soldiers walking across the ridge in the way they never would, like some producers finally going to stand up and say, just because we can do this, we're going to pull an Ian Malcolm here. We're not going to get so hung up on the fact that we can, that we're going to do it anyway. Let's think this one through. And maybe we need some practical effects here.
You got to love it. And still, my only beef with that movie was he shouldn't have cried so damn much, the main character. He should have saved that to the last scene when he finally breaks. He should have been more stolid, stoic, holding back the dam. And then when he realizes she's not dead, finally breaks. I thought that was a bad decision, having him break all the time. 2, there are 3 scenes in the film where Godzilla lumbers in a weird way that makes him look like he's a robot rather than
like a moving toy.
That was the beauty of
Godzilla.
This Godzilla was a robot. There was some guy in some sort of like a cockpit inside of him, like actuating the arms and legs, and that's why when it looks real, it looks much more real. But you do get that roboting.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Smoke and Crack Theater. I'm talking about Teague.
I thought that Godzilla was all CGI.
It is all CGI. I don't know what he's talking about.
Are we talking about -1? Or are we talking about...
Yeah, -1.
Yeah, -1. It's all CGI.
Godzilla himself, I think, is... I was told Godzilla's practical.
No.
I was told that.
No, he's not. He's CGI.
Yeah. He's CGI. You can tell.
100%. Folks watching live now and folks watching in the future, please consider hitting that like and subscribe buttons. They are free and really help grow the channel. That's right, it does.
If you're going to be like Teague, just get the synthetic crack from the replicator in your apartment. It's much like regular crack, but the effect easily dismissed. I had heard that was an animatronic Godzilla at least some of the time, but hey, I stand corrected.
Nope. Just so you guys remember, go to the 140 to 141 mark on this video and listen to me shit on Teague by welcome you to watching Smoking Crack Theater.
It's the new intro to my show. Are you crazy? So get Gary sitting in a chair like, hello and welcome to Smoking Crack Theater. Today,
make sure to zoom in on me when he starts saying this stuff that he was a guy in his robot, and then just watch my eyes go.
I was told that was
because I was doing it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Whoever told you that was an asshole?
Yeah, the real fucking asshole. That's
right. They effectively lied to me. I was like, this is some of the greatest robotry I've ever seen.
They set you up.
They totally set me up.
They got you.
I don't need a lot of help looking stupid either. So I mean, thanks a lot, pal.
Yeah, why is it doing that? I don't like that. Oh well, we'll keep it at that. And we have John up there with Mini Me. You lean into it to look like I'm your hat.
This is John's last morning show, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going back to work tomorrow.
Yeah. And this was my first one.
Big guy.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the beard hasn't come back.
The what?
John's beard.
Oh, John's beard.
Well, the girlfriend might have something to do with
it
that.
Sounded like you said the bear hasn't come back. I'm like, the bear. The beard. Got you.
Beard.
I see you've shaved your chin whiskers.
Yes, yeah, the girlfriend might have something to do with that, huh, John? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she.
So,
I don't
Los
know if you were here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's over.
Fun one. Yeah.
There's really not much to talk about with that movie. Really, there isn't.
No, it's
because there's no story.
Yeah,
but it is a straight up action yarn. I love the effects. I love the action in it. I had issues with the military stuff in there because they'd screw things up every once in a while. Like I cannot stand it when somebody says FOB or TOC.
Yeah. We pronounce
nobody in the military says that
as words in the military. Thank you very much. It's not
cock. It's fob.
I know my chief issue with the movie is that it's edited together by a pack of hamsters. But other than that,
yeah, it's a little jittery. Jumps
it's
around
a little jittery. Yeah, but I mean, I like the characters. There's scenes in it that really, really work for me. I like the whole. We didn't talk about it, but I like the whole interplay between him and Bridget Moynihan. I think she likes him. There's some good scenes there. I like the Michael Pena's whole bit with his son. Yeah, I mean,
I like Michael Pena.
There are more pros than cons. Yeah.
By the way,
I'm a big Aaron Eckhart fan, so yeah.
Aaron Eckhart's just a great actor. Highlights from today. Boom, Brandon the anime guy renewed his membership. Thank you, Brendan. You're the dude. You're the dude. And then Sci-Fi Mumby became a member today, which is really awesome. This is actually just happened last night. Chris Gore and Alan Ing from Film Threat got to meet the director of Godzilla -1 at the People's Choice Awards, and he had a Godzilla figure with him. That's fucking cool. I want to get that figure, but they're charging so much for that new figure. But this is the comment of the day, directed at Joe. We should watch.
I'm good for a laugh, boys and girls. I'm good for a laugh. That's right.
What I love is when one of us is inadvertently funny and didn't realize we were being funny, and then we go, "Oh, what I said? Oh, yeah."
Like when I was completely wrong about Godzilla.
Yeah, Smoking Crack Theater, starring T.
I have that option. I could simply walk outside and buy some. I live in New York City.
Wow, that's That's great to know. Thanks. Dempsey, welcome to the
come
show.
by sometime.
Hey, man, come on over. We'll smoke some crack. I swear to God, this really happened to me. Zoe's mother got in the car. I needed to give her a ride to work. This is after we separated. And she got in the car with me, and I was giving her a ride to work. And as we're pulling out of the parking lot from her apartment, she looks down and sees a broken Bic ballpoint pen where it had fallen out. And it was just broken there, just the plastic tube. And she goes, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear you smoke crack. And I'm like, why? Would you just, what? And she goes, well, the pen. And she picks up and shows me. And I'm sitting there going, why would you know that?
Why would you know that? Unless you've done it yourself, right? Yeah.
And of course, that was what she was going on. She was doing meth, smoking meth. And she was a mess. But anyway, that was one of the signs that she was doing drugs. And that's when I started believing she was doing drugs. Because I was told by a mutual friends that said, man, she's doing drugs. And I'm like, get out of here. I'll punch you in your face. But no, it's true. Yeah, backdoor crack. That's right. So we got 3 videos that are due for 3 breaches I saw.
Yeah, but, okay. But we only have 2 videos in this studio. So
what?
We're going
only
we're going
2. Play 2 of them, and then we'll move to the other studio.
No. I'm
sorry.
I'm sorely mistaken.
If it becomes rocket science, I'll bring John Brandenburg.
Fuck off. Video number 1. Video number 2.
Car just pulled up to the back door.
Yes.
And wait. Oh my God!
Nope, I got 3.
I had the other one right.
Oh, you did? Well, you told me you only had 2.
I'm sorry. I told.
Gotta love it when they
because the third one is
there.
Check around and see if there's a back door.
There you go. All right, we're good. So you got all 3. That's awesome. So I hope you feel good about yourself.
Not really.
Wow.
Oh, wow, man.
Oh. You're talking to me all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
Dude, what movie is that? What movie is that?
It's Joe Dirt.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite stupid comedies. I love that movie.
Joe Dirt. Don't church it up, son. It's dirt.
Don't church it up, son. It's just dirt.
Well, it's got Jamie Presley in it, so there's a lot to be said.
Oh my God! Yes, Jamie Presley. Oh, and she made an appearance on Rules of Engagement TV series, the romantic comedy, and he ends up like bedding her or leaving with her. I don't know if he ended up bedding her in the show or not, but she gets in the elevator, and that's the woman that's supposed to be carrying the child for the main characters of the show. And what's his name? Patrick Warburton walks out and sees him in the elevator with her. And he goes into panic mode. He goes, no! And he goes to the elevator. It's too late. He goes, and David Spade's pointing at her like, I'm going to get her. It's like, no, that's our vessel for carrying our child. Breach video. Are you just saying breach video? Well, not
Awesome one is here. Oh man, we need another video for Awesome.
Breach, is that the Harrison Ford movie where he's like an IT guy?
No, that's Firewall.
That's Firewall. Okay.
Okay, we have this one for Awesome one.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges.
Open your hinges. I'll show you my key.
That is the best one ever.
Yes.
That is the greatest one ever.
No. We have an ultimate backdoor breach.
Which one is it?
His backdoor.
Oh,
that's my favorite. That's the best you ever get.
Just for illustrated here.
Everlight, protect Grog and the rest of our friends, wherever they are.
Yeah, Brittany Daniel is so pretty. But I got to tell you, man, I've heard she's a nightmare to work with.
Well, they probably all are.
She has to be eating all the time because she's vegan, and her demands on set are apparently really ridiculous. But she is so good in that movie, Joe Dirt, as the girl next door. Is she doing anything now? Because she got such a bad rep. People stopped hiring her.
Jamie Presley or Brittany Daniel? Jamie Presley?
Brittany Daniel.
What did she get a bad rep for? Just having two first names? People hate that.
No, I was just talking about it. That she is a vegan and has to be eating all the time because of her metabolism. And she had really crazy demands on the set that I've read and heard about.
In musical terms, her writer was ridiculous, apparently.
Okay, all right. So she's the Mariah Carey of movies,
right?
That explains
Demanding way too much. She probably wants, little pickles thrown at her by units and shit like that.
Someone has to feed me grapes while I'm a fan with palm leaves.
Right.
The things that Gary said sounded fairly normal for like most movie stars. It's like I will have be fed constantly. I will have a hand.
No, it's really weird. They were saying that she had to eat constantly. When she wasn't on camera, she was eating.
Sounds
Well,
like
then have a fucking hamburger
she
for
hasn't
once.
gotten her diet right if she has to eat all the time.
Right. And
or she stayed thin by smoking, and now she has to handle things all day.
In the immortal scene, I will say this: in the immortal scene between Mitch Taylor and Chris Knight, when he says, "Chris, I had a weird dream last night," and Chris replies, "Was it a dream where you're standing on top of a mountain and nude women are down below throwing fuzzy pickles at you?" No. Am I the only person that has that dream?
Am I the only person that has that dream?
What movie?
Oh, I just showed it to the clients the other day. Real Genius. It's my favorite Val Kilmer movie. I love that.
Yes, it is. It is absolutely
awesome.
Tombstone is number 1. Number 2 is Real Genius.
Yeah,
Real Tombstone's not really a Val Kilmer movie, right?
I filed it under B for toys.
Yeah, B for toy. Yeah.
It's a moral imperative. I use that in my real life. It's a moral imperative.
That's it.
I'm a little more partial to Top Secret myself.
I like Top Secret too, but it's a more straightforward comedy.
Dude,
Real Genius is loosely based on real people.
You have to watch that movie a couple of times just to catch all the jokes. They're so rapid fire. Everything he says in that movie is a joke. It's so great, man. You are Chris Knight, aren't you? I hope so. I'm wearing his underwear.
And the best B character in that movie is John Grease as Laszlo.
Laszlo,
the guy that lives in there.
And you know it.
Laszlo Holyfield.
William Atherton from Ghostbusters talking about
William Atherton, because he was stuck playing slimy characters, and that's what he resented because of Ghostbusters. But that's one of his best roles outside of Ghostbusters.
Money's just as green, Bill. Just take it.
Fraud is a felony.
One of my favorite lines in the film is like, Chris Knight is confronting him and he says, "Look, I just feel I really need to tell you that there are a lot of different brands on the market for decaffeinated coffee
that are just
as tasty as
the real thing.
And they're just as tasty as the real thing." And the character says, "I'm serious, Chris." And he goes, "I am too."
Right? Yeah.
And then the next one he delivers is the girl that night. What's her name? Oh my God, she was a pretty girl, Deborah Foreman.
Deborah Foreman. There's
She's crazy
in that movie.
She went nuts. Deborah Foreman, great, beautiful actress from the '80s, absolutely bonkers. And he turns to her and he says, "No, seriously, is there anything that I can ever do for you or to you to be more to this point?" And she goes, "Well, can you hammer a nail through a 2x4 with your penis?
12-inch spike through a board with
12-inch spike through a board with your penis?" And he goes, "No,
not yet.
Well, girl's got to have her standards." What a great fucking line. We're gonna have to do that movie on a Saturday. I do love that movie, real
If
genius.
you like Val Kilmer as a comedian,
I will watch that movie and I'm smiling. Plus, I love that 80s soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack's really
what
good.
A great sound. They introduced the world to Tears for Fears.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody wants to rule the world. That's it. Yep.
Because that's the end theme, and they're all like in slow motion. Because he put popcorn, like a ton of popcorn in his house, and then had the laser hit the house, and it pops all that popcorn, so the house is like a big Jiffy popcorn house. Blows it apart. That's so fucking funny. They're eating the popcorn at the end and dancing and jumping in it. It's goofy. I love that movie. Yeah. It's so lighthearted.
Yeah.
Did it stop snowing here? It still looks. Hold on. It's gonna be cold when I do this. Okay. Why didn't it open?
Yeah, we must have had a serious cold front because we've got. I'm in northwest Louisiana now, guys. One of the most southern states you can be in, and it's 24 degrees outside, and we've got like 3/4 of an inch of ice on everything.
I'm glad I live.
Oh my God, that's
it's
funny.
Warm here.
I do like that awesome one. By the way, welcome to the show, buddy. Dempsey is here too.
Hello.
I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. Yeah, we're at the end of the show. I hate this, but we got to end the show because we all got stuff to do. I've got porn to watch.
Oh my God.
Just don't catch a reflection of your face in the monitor. You'll spend the whole day feeling horrible.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So, the laser scene. I agree with you. We're going to watch that today, Anima. If you want to watch a movie, we'll watch that. That's a fun fucking movie.
You will laugh.
It makes me feel so good. It's one of those films that just brings happiness into my heart. And it's so rare there are comedies that'll do that. And Anima's seen at least a couple with me that do
if
that.
you like smart comedy, watch Real Genius.
She just watched Charade with me this weekend.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely, it's the best Alfred Hitchcock movie made by somebody that wasn't Alfred Hitchcock.
Right.
It gets mistaken a lot. People think Alfred directed that. But I love that movie, Charade. They remade it and it wasn't very good. Called The Problem with Charlie or The Trouble with Charlie. It was not very good. And it didn't go anywhere. It had Mark Wahlberg and what is her name? English actress from Tammy. That's it. Tammy. Thank you. The chick from Rock and Rolla. I love that movie, by the way. Rock and Rolla.
Wow. Gerard Butler.
The scene where the Russian agents corner Gerard Butler and they're going to, what with him, and he's tied up, got a gag in his mouth, and then the English gangsters walk in. They go, "Oh, I'm sorry, we interrupting." It's like, no, don't leave me. He's like in a panic mode. Don't leave me. Rock and Roll is a great little film. That's a Guy Ritchie film.
I feel cheated because at the end they promise you they're going to be the real rock and roller, and it never came out.
And it never came out. I hate that when you get an announcement of a sequel in a movie and you don't get it. Same thing with Buckaroo Banzai. Jim Woodward and I went to see that together in the theater. And we were so excited. We were like, God, that was all we talked about for weeks. And that's the way we were as nerds. I don't know if other people are like this as nerds. You see a movie and that's all you want to look up and read about is that new fucking thing that got you. And
Buckaroo Banzai was a heck of a movie. You could kind of regard Big Trouble in Little China as a semi-sequel because I think it's part of.
It's in the same universe.
It's same
originally
universe.
it was. Yep.
They hive off part of the script because the movie was too long.
Well, it was supposed to be kind of a prequel to Buckaroo, and it took place in the 1800s, right at the turn of the century. Hey, Orville Nation, hey, what's up, buddy? You say hi to Tig and not
what's going
me.
on, PJ?
You broke my heart, Orville. You broke my heart.
Well, he's on Teague's channel, I guess.
Yeah. I know.
But he's a friend. If anything, I get to sometimes go on PJ's channel, but he's yet to come on Saving Star Trek and talk about his feelings about Star Trek. I'd love to have you.
Are you happy now? He's hailing you.
I can tell you, I don't know if Orville knows my position on the show, Orville, that I was very disappointed with season 3. I was very frustrated by it. when they did the away mission and they pulled a classic Star Trek where he goes on the mission, and I'm like, what? You got your main command officers on one away mission? The same? Like, what?
Are you talking about the Topa one where they're very unmilitary?
There's a device that's making them think that they're in another place, the high school and all that shit. That episode. And I enjoyed that episode, but that bugged the crap out of me. It did. And my problem with that whole season is with as much time as Seth had to write those scripts, I expected better. And I felt season 2 was a better season.
I've only watched like three or four episodes into the second season. That's it.
Yeah, my only problem with season 2
really
was
good.
The bumped episode from season 1, which was Bortus and his porn addiction. He screwed up with the A, B, and C storylines. The C storyline should have been the A storyline, which was the planet they're trying to rescue. That should have been the primary story, with all the other stuff happening around it. They made the Bortus porn addiction story the A story, which was a bad idea, and which is why it's considered one of the cringiest episodes of the series. And I blame it completely on Seth on that one.
I think he was too focused on Bourne Discovery with the whole STD thing.
Yeah.
Look,
he's an okay writer, not a great writer. That's the problem with Seth. And he should have somebody like, I turn to people like Script Doctor and my other friends that are screenwriters. You just came on camera, Teague. Way to go.
What are you going to do? It happens.
I'm just telling you, welcome to Smoke and Crack Theater.
Hey, that's not Teague. That is some imposter.
Oh, I thought you never wanted to be on camera, dude. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm always like seeing you.
Damage is done. You might as well show off the face. Hi,
he's the only friend of mine that could, believably play Abraham Lincoln.
with Doomcock's mask.
I need a helmet myself from all the new Trek I'm watching, but I leave my avatar on so that I don't get accused of making it on my good looks. I got enough criticism already,
Yeah, I've got some things Orville to say about Brandon Braga too. I'm very critical of that dude. I always feel that Brandon Braga did the Orville to apologize to Star Trek fans for what he did.
Does he do much there? I wonder if Seth MacFarlane isn't smart enough to have hired the people who did Next Generation to get into the license. Because if you think about Orville, they've got everything from TNG except stuff that comes from TOS. Like there's no transporter is like the one major difference. But aside from that, they're touching on so many TNG themes on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
And I think it's great way to do
it. The mistake they made is where I know why he went with Brandon Braga. I know why, but the fact is he would have done better with what's his name, Stephen Bear, or Ronald D. or Ronald D. Moore. I think
I don't know why,
because those two are better at script doctoring.
I would just say I don't know why Patrick Stewart was so foolish as to walk away from his association with Seth MacFarlane to be in terrible Star Trek when he could be a great character in memorable Orville. And Seth, if you're listening, if you get another season, call William Shatner and have him in that show for 5 minutes, even if it's for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So here you go. I'm going to tell you why I don't like Brandon Braga. One of the reasons. There's like two major reasons. Number one is because he and Rick Berman had promised Ronald D. Moore that after they had finished the last film, that the next TV project would be all his. He would be showrunner. They were going to give him a show. They gave him that promise, and then this happened exactly this way. He left the office to go home, forgot something, went back to the office to get it, and caught Rick Berman and Brandon Braga in a secret private meeting after hours.
Double secret private meeting?
Double secret private meeting.
Double secret.
Yeah. And he caught them in the act of, it's like catching your spouse cheating on you. He caught them planning the next show without him after they had already promised him and guaranteed the next show is his. And they were going to do it without him.
we get BSG 2.0 from it, right? So at the end of the day,
well, that's what ended up happening. So Ronald D. Moore, I don't know what exactly he said, but I'm assuming it was like, fuck you guys, because he left and he never came back. And he went off and developed Battlestar Galactica for Sci-Fi Channel. And then the final season of Star Trek Enterprise was supposed to be, basically Les Moonves told him, get the numbers up or I'm canceling the show. And they said, we're going to get those numbers up. And they went and they reworked the final season, made it the best season. It was a great season.
Of really good.
Terra Prime is just some of the best sci-fi. Absolutely. Some of the best stories.
Star Trek movies is Terra Prime.
And he canceled it. Anyway, despite the numbers, they beat the numbers with what he said. He said, I want this number. They went beyond it. He still canceled it. Why? Because he saw Battlestar Galactica by Ronald D. Moore, and he says, that's what I wanted, not your show.
It's a shame, honestly, because we were about to get maybe the best season of Star Trek. It was going to be action-packed, and they were going to do that Romulan War, and it would have been something to see. I mean, I was deeply looking
where they were headed, man. It was going to be finally turn itself into. And don't get me right, I enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Enterprise. It had I liked the characters. It had a feeling of the Old West to it that I liked.
I liked the whole that they were naive. I like that they didn't quite know what they were doing. It tracked, right? They're like, let's go make these mistakes that we've seen done in other Star Trek shows. And it kind of was like you don't want to just go there and tell them everything about yourself. It's like, hi, we have a Warp 5 ship with this many phasers. Like he's doing stuff like that.
So here's the other reason I don't like it, Brandon Braga, because my buddy Travis and his buddy, who I'm also friends with, but I don't talk to him anymore because he's weird. He's one of the artists, visual effects artists that works on Orville. And he and Travis had a story, a Star Trek story that they pitched to Brandon Braga called Nemesis. Yeah, sound familiar?
Yeah.
So we got a movie and an episode named Nemesis, both of them based off of the story that was pitched by my buddy Travis and his other buddy. He never got paid.
I feel
he
very
took it
badly
from him,
for
never
them.
gave them credit or paid them. Travis got completely screwed. He never got anything out of it. But the effects guy ended up getting hired for the Orville as payback for Brandon Braga stealing from it.
The only thing I'd say is that movie, it was so bad that maybe they lucked out. They didn't do their story justice at all.
It was nothing more than an episode stretched into a movie, and it wasn't one of the best episodes.
Mediocre episode.
The only good thing we got out of it was Tom Hardy.
It was the bottle episode movie.
Well, I got to tell you, despite being upset over Data being killed off, what he did at the end, that was a really cool scene where he just goes and gives his life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And it's so fast. There's no waiting. There's no long drawn out goodbye. It's just slaps it on him. Bye-bye. It's like Data is no more.
There's some good things about that movie, but the whole Next Generation movie arc, one starts out unnecessarily darkly, foreshadowing what's to come, where we just delete Picard's whole family in a horrible way, and he has all this horrible pain about the only
that
child.
Pissed me off, dude. That pissed me off.
Angry
so bad.
right away. And then Whoopi
his nephew
Goldberg's
died.
dialogue.
I'm like, fuck off.
I was
That
like, Rennie, who
just
we
so
all
uncalled for.
We saw Rennie once, but we had so many callbacks to him because now Picard could and after that, he was nice to children. It was important to the arc of the character of Jean-Luc
Let's
Picard.
not forget the old one, though, Teague. Let's go back. Talk
about the old ways.
Talk about not having family is Captain Kirk. You've got a fucking sister-in-law and a fucking nephew still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he just doesn't bring him up ever again.
Captain Kirk's a weirdly compartmentalized guy. If you think about it, in the production order of the series, right? We have an episode where he, with the M5 computer, loses a lot of people. Then he loses another friend. And then the Ben Finney court-martial episode and the Doomsday Machine. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, Kirk must really have a ritual for informing next of kin after he's like just gotten all of his friends. It's like, does he wear his dress uniform when he tells Will Decker about his father?
Jim Kirk is a bringer of death.
That's it.
Only Jamie got over it. She's like, my father's alive, and now when I see what he did, I kind of would be okay if he wasn't. He was really rotten to you, Uncle Jim. And that's the only satisfaction we get for Captain Kirk as a family man. And when he's a father for like 25 cinematic moments, and then that son just gets taken away from him by Doc Brown.
Right, Doc Brown stabs him in the gizzard. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Flag of the Federation fluttering in the breeze. Get back to your station.
Reverend Jim. By the way, a lot of people don't know, Reverend Jim was not a regular on the show until after into the second season.
They replaced
and his first episode is the scene where he has to get his driver's license. And it's one of the most famous scenes because he actually plays Reverend Jim in season 1 performing a ceremony. And he's so fucking
season
funny.
1 where he marries Lockett.
Do you believe that's season 1? Yeah, isn't that season 1?
I don't know. I
know it's the first episode with him. And then the next episode with him
right away.
And then the next episode with him where he's a regular is the driver's license episode where he leans forward to Alex and says, "What does a yellow light mean?" And he's not quiet at all. And they go, "Slow down." He goes, "What does a yellow light?" And you think that's it. That's it. Right there. You think that's
I'm
it. They go,
remembering it as
"Slow
you're
down."
saying it, man. My God, that
And
was
he goes,
funny. Good Lord.
And he goes, "Okie doke. What does?"
I think
you broke Joe.
Killing me, man. Good Lord, that's great. I
And
just
then
remembered it as
the
you were
next
saying
killer episode is the court scene where Tony Danza is, having. Oh no, it's the lawsuit episode, and he walks in with Tony Danza, and he goes, "I have so many memories in a room like this," and he goes, "They get you on drugs?" He goes, "No, I was already on drugs."
That show had 3
Christopher
sets.
Lloyd is a comic genius, man. The guy is great.
He's so funny that they think about this on Taxi. There were only 2 sets, right? The garage and the bar. After his character comes on, they create another set. We get Jim's apartment where he has like the cable spool for a coffee table and he just lives in squalor. But he's like the wealthiest one because he launches that cookie company that has enhanced cookies where he makes a ton of money. Is it fortuitous? Is it that they bring in like Carol Kane because they're already losing control of Man in the Moon? He's starting to act like Jim Carrey, and they think Latka maybe is not going to be around. And then Andy Kaufman is just sort of less and less there. So Reverend Jim sort of organically grows into that lovable weirdo role where they just have him.
If you guys have never seen Taxi, those of you out there in the chat, if you've never seen Taxi, he's Christopher Lloyd's character in Taxi is basically the Kramer from Seinfeld.
Reverend Jim Ignatowski, which you find out in the 3rd season or 4th season. 4th season, you find out that's not even his real name. You meet his family, and Alex Rieger goes with him to meet his family, played by a thespian actor. I forget his name. Oh my God. Chop Chop Sweet Charlotte. God, great fucking actor. Oh, it's Peter. I can't think of his name. Big fat actor. He played. Are
you talking about Ustinov?
No, he was on the Batman TV series.
Yeah, King Tut. Yeah,
King Tut.
Buono. Okay.
Victor Buono. That's it. Victor Buono is his dad, and he says, "Dad," and he's like, "Yeah, you're fat." And that's how he gets fixated. "I never knew you got so fat." And I love that show so much. And that's one of the shows I have on constant play at night when I go to bed. I watch Wings, Cheers, Frasier, Man with a Plan, and Taxi. Oh, and News Radio.
I just want to reassure everyone it takes only about half that time to go across the Queensboro Bridge. If you watch, there's a cut in the middle and they just start driving again.
Well, they just do it. Every time a new name comes up, it goes back to the beginning. And by the way, that's Tony Danza. in the night shots and the day shots in the taxi driving around.
It's the only guy
That's
from New
part of
York
the
who had the
trivia.
guts to take a cab out in New York City. He was like, I'll do it. I don't care.
He probably drove a cab. I wouldn't be surprised. So
Right.
many of those guys did.
You've got to
They were either
imagine
waiters or
being-
drove taxis.
You got to imagine for a moment being an 18-year-old New York City area resident, and you're like, I'll just drive into Manhattan, and then you realize you've bit off more than you can chew, and you really need to be like super aggressive and crazy, or get T-boned and destroyed and end up as roadkill.
Every one of those guys went on to greatness. Everybody on that. I'm just sitting here looking at the cast of that show right now.
We have
Danny
one guy holding
DeVito.
himself back. We have one guy
Henner
sabotage himself.
has one of the worst forms of eidetic memory.
Really?
Yeah.
She
can't forget anything.
She's very frustrated by it, and I've always felt bad for her.
I was in love with her, man. I thought she was awesome.
Oh, who
when
wasn't? She was beautiful redhead. You know my thing with redheads.
Oh yeah.
I think the quote from Mary Lou Henner I remember is she's like, they're like, that must be great for your career. She's like, while it is, I would get rid of it tomorrow to be able to forget a few of the things I've lived my life through. Some people have a coping skill where they can kind of blot things out of their mind. I can't do that.
Memory dump. Yeah. It's a good thing to learn how to do.
It's like 10 years of my life.
I'm going to show you guys something real quick here. This is me with the Tony Danza haircut when I was boxing, and it was not intentional. It was not. It just so happens when I see this photo of me from back in the 70s, it is clearly obvious Tony Danza's haircut.
Did you present it?
Yeah, he's fixing to.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah.
I was
Check that fool.
15 years old. That is world welterweight champion Bill Osterman, my manager and my coach. And he was teaching me, because I was taller, he was trying to teach me how to fight somebody on the inside. And that's what he was doing right here. This is from the newspaper. And they wrote a couple of articles on us because we were very good boxers. My buddy Marty Yates, who I'm still friends with, was on the team.
Dude, in that weight class, as tall as you are with the reach you had, if you knew how to jab well, nobody was getting near you. Shit. That's cool. Yeah.
Pretty much. And there's a photo of me hitting a guy. I'll show you the photo real quick. Let me find the history for it real quick. History and Facebook. There we go. Go back one. And then I will bring up the photo. Sorry, it takes a moment sometimes to do this shit.
Look,
I just
so people know, when you come to New York, it's Tony Danza who comes on the TV and the outfield like, "Hi and welcome to Yankee Stadium. Please don't throw objects on the field or curse. Thank you."
Really? Wow.
There was a season where it was him. I don't
know.
So
he recorded it or what?
They have a public service announcement, and for one thing, Tony Danza's at Yankee games and stuff like that. He still lives in New York a lot of the time, or at least is associated with it. And one of the PSAs you see sometimes, it's like, if it gets a little nuts at a Yankee game and they're losing or whatever, on the scoreboard in center field, they used to have it. I don't know if it's still him. It's like, "Hi, Yankee fans, it's Tony Danza. Welcome to Yankee Stadium, where you're bound to have a good time. Unless you do things like throw objects on the field. Real Yankee fans wouldn't do that. Have a good time and drink some more beer." He's all right. He's totally cool, but it's just like, hey, it's Tony Danza. Behave yourself at the baseball game.
Right? Take it
Now,
easy.
I want you to look at this photo. And I was really pissed at this kid because he hurt my friend. And so I hit him so hard. Look at his face and look at his posture. Because I just jabbed the shit out of him in the face.
I was
My
fixing
glove
to say,
is
he
flat,
looks
too.
like he's wincing. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I knocked the shit out of him. And I was so glad that the photographer got this photo. And by the way, back in the background there, that is my manager again, Bill Osterman.
Mm-hmm.
And those legs right here, that's my dad.
Okay.
And this is my sparring partner right there. It's Alan Burrell. That's his little brother, Eric. He's the one who got hurt. Now, what broke my heart is years later, this is David. David, I would run into him years later, and something was wrong. He was walking weird, like using his whole body. And I found out he had gone diving into a sandbar.
Oh, no.
And broke his neck.
No.
Damn.
Shallow water?
shallow water, and the sand. It was sand. It made it worse because he went into it, and then it snapped his neck back and broke his neck. He survived, but it messed him up for life. And I'm
sure he had to learn how to walk again. Yeah, I'm sure he
don't think I would want to survive. I think I'd be okay with that being the end. Oh,
oof.
But that was I loved it. This was back when I was boxing. I love boxing, man. The pugilistic sports.
It's one of my favorite
fun
sports.
stuff to watch on TV. You don't need to know anything about it to enjoy it. It's I like to watch it on the Spanish channel with the Telemundos on Friday and Saturdays. They'll have lightweight and middleweight boxing, and those guys go the distance every time. And I don't know, man. Like, you don't need to know the rules or what they're in commentary. Obviously, I don't speak Spanish. I was just like, at least they say el left hook, but it's still entertaining. The Spanish word for left hook.
Do they ever do the when they're talking?
They do, and what's cool is they've adopted our term, so it's like they'll be getting into the el pugilista, so, whatever, and then all of a sudden they'll start fighting and be like el left hook, el body blow, and it's like when they go down, it's like knockout. So it's like, okay, cool, they've adopted our terms for it. But
my favorite Mexican NFL, boxer, my second favorite sport is boxing. Yeah.
Boxing
okay, my favorite
watch, man.
My favorite Mexican boxer is Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Roberto Duran.
I like watching it.
Love Roberto.
Yeah, my cat is named after him.
Yep. Hands of Stone.
What, Beast?
No, Canelo.
There you go.
Does Mexican Iron
Roberto
Man
Duran is really
boxer?
good, but Saul Canelo Alvarez is a current boxer, and I love watching him fight. I really do. And it's so weird. Like, he's a ginger. He looks like he's a Viking king or something, or from Ireland. And the dude's absolutely Mexican. Once again, proving how the Irish invaded Mexico during the 1800s after the Civil War.
There's a really cool war movie about
True
that
story.
with Tom Berenger.
Yep.
Yes. Good movie.
They even had an Irish battalion during the Civil War.
They had one on both sides.
Both sides, that's right. Because depending on where you got off the ship is where you got forced into the military.
Or joined. My ancestor, Owen Lockman, was happy to fight in an army that set men free in the Union.
If they were coming over from Ireland and they would do this, they'd be immediately conscripted into the military for citizenship.
Hey, Darth Plato.
I think he had the fortune of being here for a few years before the war started. He kind of wanted to go.
Then it's different.
Yeah.
What both did, what I'm talking about is when they would come over on the coffin ships from Ireland, they would immediately come off and be conscripted into the military if they were military age. Period.
I got to step out of here, guys. This diabetic's got to go.
Yeah, I got to end the show. I was trying to end it here. So we're going to get out of here, guys. That's the end of the day. We only went 26 minutes over, so it's fine. I hope everybody has a good Monday and rest of the week. Don't forget, tomorrow is the Chief. What is he watching tomorrow, Martin?
Oh, the Maltese Falcon, one of my favorites of all time.
That's Sam Spade and written by Dashiell Hammett, who is a relative of mine because on my mother's side we're Hammets. But I will also say I like the new series about Sam Spade. It's really good. It's on AMC right now. First episode premiered yesterday. Good show. Anyway, we're out of here, guys. As Brian would say,
that's it. Show's over.